awkward, when things are said, because they still want to be a part of the crew, but they know they have to kind of be by themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's Chase, man. He's still getting used to it.
He's in that weird spot right now?
Yeah, he's in that weird spot because he wants to be with the guys, and he is one of the guys, but he also, he's with the suits too.
Yeah, I know.
And
they eat at nice restaurants for lunch, and they go out to dinner.
And they don't have as much fun.
Yeah, they
don't have as much fun. They don't laugh
get better
as much.
meals.
Exactly.
And, they get drinks, free drinks, but they don't have as much fun.
Exactly.
As we do. You're right. That is a really good point, D-Maze. So he's in that weird spot.
Yeah, he's still getting used to it.
Yeah.
He's getting used to it, man. He don't. He's kind of like the do I shake your hand or do I fist pump or what do I do to my hands when I'm doing an interview?
I've been there, but I wasn't a suit, but I've been there.
Yeah.
It's
you know
awkward.
the feeling.
Yeah. Look, I don't care what Mike Vrabel says. I know he doesn't understand titles, but we do understand titles, and it is a big deal. So we're going to make a big deal about Chase being a suit. Mike Vrabel doesn't understand why people have titles, which, I guess then over there they all get paid the same if nobody has titles. But
exactly.
Here we do have titles, and, we're proud. He's a suit. And like I said, that's a term of endearment. Like, don't get your suit all in a wrinkle when you hear me say that. The suits get all – they get all, weird about it.
If we didn't love you, we wouldn't have made up a nickname for you.
Right. We wouldn't be talking about you, right?
Exactly. We were like, good riddance. See ya. Finally got him out of the crew.
Thank goodness.
He's gone. But we love Chase, and that's the way to keep him in the fold, Keep him in the fold like that.
I thought your example was spot on. It really is. I think he's in that just weird spot. Like, he wants to hang. He wants to be with the boys, but he knows that he's out getting nice lunches, nice free lunches. That comes with being a suit. You probably get a nice dinner. You definitely get some free drinks in the nighttime hours. So there are perks, but you don't have as much fun. There's no doubt.
He's the guy that the nice restaurant is on one side of the street, and then the $2 beers is on the other, and he's having his drink, but he's looking across, and we're just jamming. We're having fun, and he's just slowly drinking his drink.
We're on the right shoulder.
Exactly.
And he's got the other one on the left shoulder. We're on the right shoulder. Chase! Maccababe, come on over.
Big Chaz, come on.
Shots. Chase, come on over. What are you doing? What? A meeting? Come on over. We're having a meeting over here. Shots.
But we still love him, and we want him to come. It doesn't matter to us, but he feels kind of, do I go across the street and have, 25-cent wings and a brew, or do I stay over here and have this medium well steak with a shot that costs about $50?
Top shelf bourbon.
Yeah, exactly.
As a sipper.
Exactly. He wants the top shelf, but he also wants to go over there to that 50-cent, that 25-cent wing.
See, he's in that stage now, but what happens is over time, like in 6 months, we'll see him like, Chase, he's going to be like, good morning, good morning, good morning.
How do you
know what
do?
I mean? He's going to be very serious, like, good morning. Fellas, good morning. Have a great show. Thank you. Good to see you. Good morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Would you guys like anything from the lounge? Good morning.
Start greeting you with
show.
handshakes.
Yes, handshakes.
If he starts greeting us with handshakes, it's over. Yeah. If he starts, as soon as you walk through the door, he sticks his arm out for the handshake, it's over. Yeah. Yep. He's officially crossed over. The door's closed. No more.
We are off and running. We got a lot of things to get into today. We're actually talking a little hoops with Dane Bradshaw in the second hour. Looking forward to that from SEC Network. Of course, former Vol, Tennessee got it done last night. Nice road win in Columbia, Missouri over the Tigers. They beat them up. Vanderbilt lost a tough one at home to Alabama. They were up 5 at the half, and as Jerry Stackhouse said, they didn't exactly execute down the stretch or at the end of the game. So, and, of course, Belmont, we talked to Casey Alexander. They've got a huge tilt tomorrow night. So we'll get into all things college hoops with Dane Bradshaw in the second hour.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Of course, Tennessee
Dane Bradshaw is the perfect guy to talk about. Tennessee's got Auburn coming to town on Saturday. That's going to be a great
You think
game.
Dane knows anything about that?
I think he's got some pretty good insight
Probably
on that.
so.
And, you know, if you didn't see the Vanderbilt game, of course, I didn't watch it start to finish. I went back through it some this morning. My son was at the game, but they were up at the half, but they also were down by 11 with about 6 minutes to go, got it back, and Scottie Pippen missed the free throw that would have tied the game with about a minute left. And then, you know, what I did get to see live, it was a really bizarre ending to the game where it was basically a free throw shooting contest back and forth. And to Alabama's credit, they made every free throw to stay ahead. And Vanderbilt missed the layup, you know, not an uncontested layup, but a good drive by Jordan Wright that rimmed out. I mean, just sat there on the rim and then rolled off. That would have tied the game with 5 seconds left. So it was a really good game. Unfortunately for Vanderbilt, you know, not quite enough to get it done. Unfortunately, the complementary players just not there last night. Not enough production to beat a good team like Alabama. So Alabama earned a good road win.
Yep, they did. They needed that after losing to Kentucky in Rupp on Saturday, looking to rebound. Because, you know, you lose that game last night, and all of a sudden people are talking about, like, Alabama's going the wrong way, right, down the stretch. So that was a big win for them. Sonny on our text line, which is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, a lot of people are concerned about Chase the Suit. Sonny wants to know, does this mean Chase's Broadway career is over now that he's a suit?
That's a great question.
That's a really good question, Sonny.
I think it's where he goes on Broadway. You know, and just listening to you guys, I think, you know, he may not be able to go to just, you know, any place on
He's not going to be a
corner
Tootsie's.
there.
He'll probably drift over to the pond. You know what I mean?
He's got to be in a certain area of Tootsie's, you know, kind of away from the
upstairs.
masses.
He has a lounge.
Got to be maybe upstairs, a certain floor, kind
in the
of corner,
back
you know.
of the room.
It's roped off.
Yeah,
It's
roped off area.
Yeah.
Roped off area for sure. Yep. You got to have somebody bringing him drinks. You know, he doesn't have to go to the bar. You know, and
McCabe,
saddle up and kind of arm, you know, kind of stiff arm your way to the bar to get the bartenders in. He doesn't have to do that anymore. He's in the roped off area. He's got somebody come, Mr. McCabe, can I help you?
Here's the question.
What can I get you?
This is when we know. Let me just tell you guys this right now. This is when we know Chase is officially transformed into a suit. When people start calling him Charles, that's when we know he's right.
Wow.
Charles,
full-fledged.
Table for four. Charles McCabe, table of four.
And his party is always 4 or more.
Oh yeah,
always.
Yeah,
and everybody has on a suit.
Yeah, the suits come.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got to.
They're like
Costco
and Sam's Club, you know. They come in bulk.
Yeah. I got to experience being a suit very briefly one time. The 2011 playoffs. We went to a club in Anaheim. The Predators were playing the Ducks, and this was right at the beginning when the new ownership group took over. I was with Wade Belak, the late Wade Belak, who is one of the great people. May rest in peace, but what an unbelievable character of the game. And so he knew people to get us into this really fancy club. And he walks up and the music's blasting, it's pulsating, you know, it's nuts. It's an area that you're like, there's a long line to get in, and I'm like, I was with Bob Cole. So Bob and I are standing there going, this doesn't look good, man. We're not going to get into this place. Wade walks up to the guy, and then it turns around. We can't hear anything that's being said. He just motions us in. Come on in, guys. And
are you telling me Bob Cole couldn't do that? Like Wade had to do that? Bob couldn't with his pool?
Well, you would think that Bob maybe would have that pull, but Wade just took over, and the next thing you know, we're walking back. Wade Belak had told the guy that we were 2 of the new ownership group members. They just bought the Predators. So the next thing you know, Bob and I are on couches, and we're in a roped-off area, and we had the waitresses coming up with trays saying, "Wait, can I get you guys anything?" We had no idea what he said until we left the bar. He says, "You know what? I told them you guys are part of the new ownership group." I was like, "Oh,
wow!"
Okay.
For a brief minute, you owned the Predators, huh?
That's right. So we got to experience the life of the suit. Yep, we got the life of the suit.
Look at the perks. Yep. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
See, you would have been William. If you would have stayed in that mode, you would have become William. William Donick.
Yep. That's right. It
William?
was only short-lived. I turned into a pumpkin at midnight, though.
But it felt good, didn't it?
It did feel good for a little bit.
Good.
It felt good.
Oh, let me just tell you, I've had the suit treatment. It does feel good, man.
Feels good,
It's
man.
very tempting.
So Chase has a lot to look forward to. You take the good with the bad. We laid it out for him, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, though, when you hear somebody go, "Hey, Charles, are you going for lunch?" Charles, are we still going? Are we still on for lunch? That's when you know, wow, the transformation has happened. Phil in Kentucky on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The writing is on the wall. McCabe is too busy for the on-air work these days. We will miss him, but he's got 1 foot out the door. Let's just go on and rename the show 3D. Darren, Donick, and Derek.
Hey.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Dude, I feel like we should have taps. When I was reading that, we should have had taps in the background.
We should have had a moment of silence.
21 gun salute.
Y'all gonna make Chase take off his tie. Just take off the tie and come here without a tie. See, I'm not fully a suit yet. Not yet.
Actually, he'll have the tie around his forehead. It'll be like a headband.
Oh, man.
People are very concerned.
Because he's in that weird place, and we've all seen people in that weird place, you know, and it takes them a minute to get used to it. And hey, we still love you, Chase. We still love you.
SL in Knoxville. Sounds like you have officially packed your suit, Chase. Thanks. I'm here all week.
Nice.
On that note, we will head to the break. We'll come back. We'll talk about that big Predators victory last night down in Sunrise, Florida. A lot to get to on the show today. By the way, Tim Hasselbeck at high noon. We'll have Robbie Stanley on. I'm going to ask him a really cool question that I just thought of yesterday that we were kind of tossing around on pregame, so we'll get into all that stuff with Robbie in the final hour. More of the DDC next here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Think back to a time when you've had to contend with a difficult challenge in your life, but that, in the end, came out okay. I'm willing to bet that in almost all those cases, you had someone alongside you that you trusted, whether the challenge related to a career change, a health crisis, or even the death of a loved one. But if the challenge is divorce, and you're a guy, there's a good chance that your trusted friend for all life's challenges to date has been your spouse, whom the legal system now terms the opposing party. This is why guys notoriously are prone to feeling isolated and alone during the divorce process. The good news is you don't have to go through this alone. Let Cordell and Cordell be the partner that you can count on through the challenges of divorce. Call us at 866-DADS-LAW or visit CordellCordell.com. You are not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's Nashville area attorneys. 866-DADS-LAW, 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067. CordellCordell.com.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Callaway. Featuring the new Rogue ST drivers, Callaway's most stable driver ever, with tungsten speed cartridge, jailbreak speed frame, and AI flash face. Engineered for max speed and forgiveness. 4 different models to fit every golfer's needs. Think speed? Go Rogue. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit for the new Rogue ST drivers today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Mid-State Sports League spring registration is now open. With 7 different sports to choose from, there is something for every player. Join Nashville's largest sports leagues and register as a free agent or bring your own team. Spring registration is now open for softball, sand volleyball, soccer, kickball, flag football, and basketball. For a full list of adult and youth leagues, check out midstatesports.com. That's midstatesports.com. It's no debate. Play Mid-State.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1025R compact tractor.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor to make
the earth take the shape that I wanted to take.
And the Allens fire up their John Deere 3032E compact tractor to grow about 9 acres of flowers. Because the beauty of having land is deciding how to make it yours. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
This is Mikhail Kraland, and this is Maxwell.
And the rebound shoveled in by Mikhail Kraland, and the Predators have tied it up on the power play.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Shane at the puck, left side, throws it back over to the right. Johansson for Yossi to the blue line, return to Yossi. Here's Forsberg out high, the shot stopped, rebound, try the score! Predators take the lead!
Exactly what you want. Get it to the net and battle for it. Some good exchanges up top between Forsberg and Yossi. The rebound comes to Gronlund, and he's Johnny on the spot.
Last night in Sunrise, Florida, Predators erased a 4-game losing streak with beating the best home team in the league and the team that scores the most. Pretty unbelievable. Now, I'm going to go on and do this. Typically, I don't do this, but I'm going to go on and let you know. We are going to give away tickets to see Train before you can even buy those tickets at Ascend Amphitheater this hour. We're going to do that. That show is going to be on June 21st with special guest Jewel, Blues Traveler, Will Anderson. We're going to do that sometime this hour, and it's going to be a Preds question, okay? So I'm just going to go on and give you the heads up. You need to keep listening. Last night was a pretty monumental win. It was game 51 of the season. You're like, come on, man. 82 games. Really? Yeah. I thought it was pretty significant. I think it was pretty significant to setting the tone for what is going to be the biggest week in their season. And to end the losing streak and to come back 3 times when behind against the best home team in the league. Now listen to this, Derek. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this to you because Willie knows. He knows all this stuff. Florida, just to put in perspective, they had played 26 home games going into last night's game. Their record was 23-3. Just to put in perspective how good they are. When I say advantage. When I say they're the best team in the league at home, 23-3 is pretty unbelievable. And I don't know, Willie maybe can weigh in on this. I don't think it's because they have this incredible, college-like atmosphere there. They're just playing really good at home. And, oh, by the way, they're the highest-scoring team in the league.
What is it, 4.5 a game?
Not quite. At home it is.
At home, yeah. At home
it is. At home, yeah.
Yeah, it was 4.7 goals per game at home, which is a ridiculous number. 4.1 overall.
It was 4.12, I think, was their
overall
exact number.
That's overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4.7 at home.
Goodness gracious.
So they've just been terrorizing people down there.
I mean, but if you watch the whole game, you thought in the first period that it was, after the first period, they got up, 3-1, somewhere around there?
Halfway through the game,
you
they're down
thought
3-1.
Man, this is going to be a long game. And then all of a sudden you get 2 quick goals, and then it's like, okay, this is a game. And then they score again. And you figure, okay. But then the Preds, which I, as a former athlete, you like seeing that. You wish that it would just happen from the start, but you love to see a team battle it out when when it seems like things are going away from them, getting away from them. And it just seemed like they just with each up and down the ice, they just start chucking away, and then they got on this road, and it was just like an avalanche for them. They just started scoring from every direction, and for me, it was a delight to see, because they could have just packed it away and said, "Hey, listen, it is what it is. We're going home. We have Pekarine's, retirement and everything else. Let's get up for that game." But they didn't. They reached down deep, and they came out and they played. They outplayed Florida from the middle of the second period on.
I mean, I do have to say, I think that has to rank up there at this point as the biggest win of the year. I think all things considered, down 3-1, as you said, Derek, halfway through the game, you've got your backup goalie in there, and you're thinking, man, at any point, the Panthers just might rev it up, score a couple more, and just run you right out of the building like they have so many teams. I was reading the stats. They've scored 5 or more 22 times. It's just, you run out of different ways to say.
Wow.
Yeah, you've run out of ways to say how good they are. But
let me tell you, I saw a first last night, Willie. I've never seen this. I saw you know what the over-under was last night?
7.
7. Some places had it at 7.5. I've never seen
still
that
was
before.
Over. And it still went over.
Clearly. I've never seen 7.5. I've never seen 7.5 in a hockey game.
Yeah, that shows you, what they do.
And it was
now,
the over.
Yeah,
amazing.
It was fairly easy. So yeah, I think that was a good example of the Predators' mental toughness. It's not like they dominated the game. You're not going to dominate the Panthers down there, but they made the plays. They found the way to win, and they did it with their backs to the wall. I'm hoping that this springboards them into, more of a run of success, because it's scary, man. As we said a lot on our show and then during the broadcast last night, the cushion that they built before the All-Star break has dwindled a lot. It's whittled down. You got a legit 10, 11 team race for the 8 spots. And, so Nashville's you're going to have to get in the high 90s, I think, to get into the playoffs safely. So there's still a lot of work to do. We know from now on the schedule is going to rev up. It's going to be much more. There's not a lot of breaks anymore, so it's time to go. So I think, I hope anyway, that when we look back on this game, the bold move to throw David Riddick in there and say, you know what, I'm going to send a little jolt through the team. I'm going to say we've got to play our backup here. Our goalie needs a little rest mentally to try to fine-tune some things. We haven't played great in front of him. Let's go out there with David Riddick. And Riddick really responded. So that I think going forward is a big thing too, his performance.
Yeah, when you're playing a team like Florida, you know they're going to score. But they're not a great defensive team. They're almost giving up 3 goals a game. So if you can it's almost like the Kansas City thing, where Kansas City's going to score points. If you can just hold on and score with them and get a few breaks at the end, then you can win.
But they're not atrocious.
They're not bad. They're middle of the pack.
They're in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Well, because I
was going to say the Stars.
Yeah.
The Stars what was it, about 5 years ago? Like they needed to score 6 a game because they were going to give up 4 or 5 every game. I mean, they were awful. That you could score at will on them, but the problem is they were so good offensively that they could score at will too, and so they needed. And yes, you're right, Derek. Florida is not great, but they're not. It's not like they're first in the league in scoring, last in the league, goals against.
Yeah,
they're in the middle of the
pack. Think that's the talk down there is, do they want to pick up an extra defenseman at the trade deadline. And the other thing is, Sergei Bobrovsky, for whatever reason, Nashville's played well
really
against him overall.
Mm-hmm.
He's been much better this year, but I didn't think he was great last night. Nashville, they made some great plays, but I think ultimately for Florida, they're going to need the best of Bob because, who's lurking? The team we're going to see on Saturday. You got Tampa down there. You got Boston in there. It's such a high level of team in the Eastern Conference. But a great win for Nashville. Now they'll come in with a little bit of confidence restored for the big ceremony tomorrow, and you've got a massive game against Dallas. What a huge game that's going to be. Wow. That is going to be great there. They're going to be, I think, around the league, Thursday, Saturday. In fact, I already have seen it. There's some national media coming to town for 3 days, to see these two games.
Yeah, I'll actually bring up something on the other side because it deserves our attention. It kind of reminded me of when the NFL draft was here and the bachelorette party was here, and they're like, what? Nobody told us there was this thing going on. So I'll save that for after the break. But real quick, let's get Dylan, who's on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, wants to comment about last night's game. What's up?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Great win. I just wanted to ask, I was actually listening to the Florida broadcast, so I couldn't get Willie and Chris's analysis of it. But the goalie interference call. So
why were you listening to the Florida broadcast?
Well, let's just say it may have been a sketchy website that I was streaming it on. that's
not admitting to any wrongdoing or anything. But
respect.
Yeah.
But anyways, so what it looked like was it looked like Bobrovsky kind of tried to fall backwards and cover the puck with his back, and then they said, I believe, is it Cunnin came in and pushed him with his
puck. Stick.
We're going to talk about this. So, Dylan, thanks for the call. We are definitely going to talk about this on the other side because I have my thoughts as well, and I definitely wanted to address this. So we'll get into all that stuff on the other side. But first, Willie, you're going to tell everybody about Lee Company.
All right, let's talk Lee Company, 615-567-1000 or LeeCompany.com. Proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. And, yes, Bridgestone Arena will be in the spotlight tomorrow night, the jersey retirement ceremony for Pekka Rinne. It's going to be a full night, 7:30 start. The ceremony starts at 6. So remember, if you're going to the game, be there early and make sure you're in your seat prior to 6 o'clock because you're not going to want to miss everything that happens. You'll see when you come down to Bridgestone Arena the display that Lee Company has. They're a big sponsor, and they do a lot of really good things, including the general maintenance. Now, you might have been up late last night watching, some college basketball, watching the Predators, and you've been putting off the fact that you got a maintenance issue, whether it's at your home or at your business. Lee Company can help you. They're just a phone call away or an online appointment away. LeeCompany.com. You can just let them know what the problem is, schedule a time. They'll come out and fix the issue, whatever it might be. Windows, doors, floors, ceilings, anything. Call Lee Company, 615-567-1000. They'll take care of the problem. You can get back to watching the games and the teams that you love. It's Lee Company, proud sponsor, Nashville Predators.
Every Friday at 8:30 on Robbie and Rex Show, we talk with the legend, Terry Chris, about all things Nashville Predators, presented by Copper Branch on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Chevrolet Buick GMC. Can you feel that? Love is in the air. Maybe it's love for your significant other. Maybe it's love for Rome, your Bernese mountain dog. Maybe it's just love for chocolate. Wherever that love falls, this is the time to take it all in. But maybe take less of the chocolate in. So now that all the mushy stuff is out of the way, I'm going to tell you what we love. We love to help you. We love helping you find a new car when you need one. We love helping you keep your car running smooth with amazing service. We love partnering with you in the community to make a positive impact. Newton loves to help. We have a great selection of pre-loved vehicles on the lot for you right now. You can shop online and even start working your deal right now from your phone with Newton FastPass. Visit NewtonChevroletBuickGMC.com to shop or schedule service today. For the love of chocolate, see website for details.
How can a half-carat diamond magically grow into a 2-carat diamond? With Genesis Diamond's 110% diamond upgrade guarantee.
Our trade-up policy is the best in the United States.
That's Stasia at Genesis, explaining how if you buy a diamond today and want to trade it in for a bigger one next year, Genesis always gives you back your original purchase price plus an extra 10%.
We will gladly give you every single penny you paid for the diamond plus an extra 10%, which is amazing. No one does that.
As a real-life example, take Stasia's customer, Paul.
When he first started, he got a half carat, and then as he became more successful, we rewarded him. He came in and he got a 3/4 carat, and then he's traded for a carat. I'm sure I'll see him this year for a carat and a half. As they grow and change and become more successful, their engagement ring can grow with them also.
And there's no catch, no minimum trade-up requirement, and it works on diamond studs and diamond pendants as well.
You get every single investment dollar you put into the diamond, you will get an extra 10% towards the new diamond.
Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
You can trade as many times as you wish.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Geico presents Motorcycle Sounds. If you hear this, and within 15 seconds, you already know that it's a 6-speed cruiser with a wheelbase of 120 inches, a V-twin 2-cylinder engine with a max torque of 110 foot-pounds, a bright yellow body, black upholstery, chromed-out wheels, a nice clean fairing, and a big dresser in the back ready to tour, well, then you probably ride a motorcycle. So you probably know that Geico could save you even more when you bundle motorcycle with your home or car insurance. Geico Motorcycle. Save even more when you bundle.
Thursday night, the Blue Raiders continue their homestand at the Glass House against Marshall. Coverage begins at 5:30
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
What's happening in Nashville? This is Scott Van Pelt. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC, our show is presented by Creation CBD. Creation CBD products. Curated for life. Don't forget, you can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live every day. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. On our text line, driven by Wilson County Hyundai.com, Ron, going back to the first segment, says, see, guys, this is what Blue Chew will do for the suit. The suit and tie, actually, he called him. We did have some fun with the Blue Chew. C from Franklin said, I thought one caller's prior suggestion was good for the name of the show, Darren Donick and Mace. Yeah, I think 3D, though, just going back to that. I mean, you're already in the hall on that. I just think it flows. You know, it's easy, right? It just, like this every day, Darren Donick, Jason D-Base. It's just like, oh, my gosh.
You make it sound nice, though, because you throw it in there quick. You throw it in there quick.
Yeah, it's a lot of extra work, you know, just saying. Okay, so let's get to I do want to talk about what happened in the third period. So you had Sam Bennett give Florida back their lead 4-3, just over 8 minutes in. And just like the Predators had done all night. And by the way, okay, so let's start with the Sam Bennett play.
Okay.
I did not have a problem with them calling that a good goal because this is the way I look at it. And you tell me how you feel about it. I'm sure Chris Mason had his feelings about it. If you really had secured the puck wouldn't have been in. He wouldn't have been able to poke it in that easily. So he didn't clearly have, he may have jumped on it, but he hadn't secured it because it looked like it was pretty easy to poke that in. That's just my 2 cents. I didn't have an issue with it. What say you?
We agreed on our broadcast. He reached for the puck with his blocker hand, right? His blocker glove, not his catching glove. So in other words, he dropped the stick, reaches out, and tries to smother it. I do think initially he got a pretty good piece of the puck as he went down and made contact with the puck. And I think what you would be hoping for in a best case is one of those intent to blow, right? The ref loses sight of it. He starts to blow the whistle. But that's what Darren ultimately, I think, happened. They didn't blow the whistle, and to Bennett's credit, he got there right away and kind of shoveled it through. So I think you definitely say if he'd had it for an extra beat, then no doubt about it. Then they should have blown the whistle, but it happened quick enough. So good goal.
Do you think that had they called it a no-goal at first and then went back and reviewed it, do you think it would have stood?
Really good question.
Yeah,
Really
I
good
think.
question.
In fact, I'm not even sure that that's reviewable. If they blew the whistle, right?
Oh,
they
you're
blew
right.
the whistle.
Okay,
you know
you're
the
right.
old intent to blow. Remember our
That's
conversations
right.
with Terry
That's
Frazier?
right. Good point. Really good point. Yep.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of like the Colton Sissons play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
So
it's Stanley Cup final.
So it's like, okay, we'll let the touchdown stand, but we'll go back and review it because we know we have the opportunity or we have the ability to go back and change it. That's kind of like not saying it was a goal. We'll call it a goal, but we do have the ability to go back and review it and change it.
Well, on that one you don't, because it's one of those weird ones that it just doesn't fall under the umbrella.
My thing is, why did they go back and look at it? What I'm saying is that it's a goal. We call
because they didn't blow it dead. That's why.
They just went over and talked to the sideline and told them why they called
Willie's
it.
saying the exact right.
Okay.
He's right. If you bring up a really good point, but if that were to happen, they blew it dead, so it's not reviewable.
Yeah.
Like it
now you could challenge it for
Florida would have been mad.
Interference.
They probably would have
challenged. You could have challenged for goaltender interference, but they didn't see enough. I think what they were doing, honestly, behind the scenes was kind of looking at it to see, do you think Riddick was interfered with at all? Did he, rustle around his blocker hand, interfere with his ability? And he really didn't. He got underneath there, and he got the puck, So I think they looked at it and said it's not worth challenging.
Okay, so I'm going to go.
You can't challenge the whistle if they had blown the whistle.
Okay.
But they didn't blow the whistle, so the only thing you challenge is goaltender interference.
Okay.
So that's what happened 14 seconds later. Florida did challenge goaltender interference after the apparent Luke Cunnin goal. And I wanted to hear what you and Mace, what you guys were going to say. I wanted to hear what Pete and Hal were going to say because my take was I didn't agree with the call. And I'm going to tell you why. And I think maybe this is where Dylan was going with this. Maybe. I'm not sure. I thought, quite honestly, Luke Cunnin was there contact made with his stick? Yes.
Yes.
Was the puck right there? Yes. Was Bobrovsky and the whole play going left to right? Yes. So was there lots of momentum that way? Were there a lot of bodies in front? Yes. Do I think Bobrovsky generously fell down? Yes, I do. I don't think Luke Cunnin grabbed him, hooked him, and then flipped him on his back, okay? I just don't believe that there was real goaltender interference. Did his stick maybe touch him? Is that the reason Bobrovsky fell into the net? I don't believe so. I believe all his momentum was going to the right. The whole play was going that way, and all these bodies around him, everybody's whacking away. Cunnin's stick may have touched him, but oh, by the way, it also may have touched the puck, and I don't agree with the call. And I feel like most people feel the other way, that they're okay with it. I didn't agree with it.
All right. Well, I will tell you that Chris Mason is a goalie, so that probably that's certainly his perspective. We did agree with the call as much as we disliked the end result. I think if you really slow it down and look, I think everything that Luke Cunnin does is fine because the puck is in there. It's sort of in the skates. Bobrovsky is sort of laying back, hoping he's going to cover the puck. It's a scramble. There's a couple of shots. But if you really look, there's a point where I got to be careful how I say this. Luke Cunnin, he moves Bobrovsky back. He has his stick in a very sensitive area, Darren, between the legs.
Oh, okay.
Bobrovsky.
I didn't see this.
He had it in the inner thigh.
I'm learning.
Inner thigh.
The inner
very
thigh.
Good.
Yes.
Very good term, D-Mace. Let's go with inner thigh.
So Sergey was going, stop it!
He pushed him back. Look! Does a Mitch Kupchak reference come in here? I don't know. But, he did sort of push him back a little bit before he plays the puck into the net. Yeah, he did.
Really?
Well, if you slow it down, once they slowed it, I'm listening to.
You're in the arena. You got better angles, so I'm not going to argue with that. So.
I'm listening to.
If you look at the overhead shot, you can see it. The overhead shot gives you the look.
I'm listening to C. Mason Willie, and no one was really committal to yay or nay. until they saw like several angles, and that's the disadvantage of replay, because in real time you can't see it because it happens so quick.
Right.
But if you slow it up, there was a sort. Now, did the nudge?
Did you see what Willie's talking about, Derek?
Yeah, I saw the play. Yeah,
did you see what he just described?
The inner thigh.
Yeah. No, I saw that part.
Oh, you did?
On the replay, I saw it when they
Okay.
slowed it up. Yeah, and it was sort of like toward the end, it was a slight nudge. Now, did that push the goalie back enough that he was able to score? You never know, because he was falling back anyway. So that extra nudge, I think, got him to where, they said no goal. But listen, what was it? 20 seconds later, they end up getting the goal back. So
yeah, I think that's where you really give them credit. Is that was a tough at the time. You just answered back and you're really feeling good about it, and then you get the rug pulled out from under you, and yet they still came back and found a way, made a couple plays there. The play by Tanner Janot, the shorthanded goal, was a great finish.
So before we move on though, just so we can shut the book on this. Like I said, I'm not going to dispute. You're in the arena. You're getting better. You got monitors. You're going to get better. You got a jumbotron. You're going to get better views than me, obviously. So you're saying that definitely before when Bobrovsky falls back, you're saying Cunning's maybe kind of pushing him with his stick in the mid region.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't. Okay. That obviously changes. Look, like I said, I knew there was contact, but I mean, Bobrovsky's a big guy. He's not a horse jockey, right? Bobrovsky's a pretty good sized dude.
Right, but if you're down on the ice, it doesn't take much to. I think Derek used the right term, nudge. It nudged him back a couple of inches, and that left the puck exposed. So he nudges him, and then he puts it in. So I see that. I don't think he intentionally did it. He's just battling to try to make a play on the puck, and he's trying to fight position. He's got Gus Forsling right on his back, pushing him. That's what I was hoping that they might see, is maybe the momentum of the defenseman pushing Cunnin in there.
But a nudge is going to get Bobrovsky on his back. A nudge? Like that's where I'm confused. I'm a little like, to me it needs to be more.
Think of when you take
aggressive.
This is what Mace uses this term some.
Okay.
Pitchfork, right? Imagine taking a pitchfork.
Yep.
And I jam it up. You're lying along the ice, and I jam it up underneath you. I'm going to be able to move you pretty easily on the ice, even without a whole lot of contact. Now that's your best argument, Darren, is that
people are agreeing
it wasn't a full on pitchfork. It was a nudge. That's Derek Satur, but that prevented, in the ref's mind, the ability for Bobrovsky to play his position.
I will just tell you that I felt like his momentum was carrying him that away, and that's the reason. And people are agreeing. And look, and we can all. It doesn't. It's irrelevant, right? It's irrelevant now, and the Predators went on and they scored 3 more goals after that and won the game. But people are agreeing with me on the text line that they kind of felt the same way, that it was really him sliding that way and his momentum carrying him that way. That really, I don't know.
That's what I thought at first, and I think that's what Mace thought at first. And then we saw that one move where he got the stick up in between the legs and moved him back a little bit. So,
see, I need to hear Bobrovsky in the press conference, and if he's like, "Look, that's a tough loss," then I'm all in with what you're saying.
Let's just hope that the goalie's equipment was properly in place there,
properly secure.
Yeah.
All right, we will come back and put a bow on the first hour of the show. Don't forget, we've got those tickets to give away. We are going to give you a Predators question, so you're going to have to answer a trivia. This is a really good prize, so you're going to have to work for it, and it's going to be something from last night's game, so keep that in mind for the final segment here on the DDC. Willie, tell everybody about Lone Pronto.
All right, let's talk Lone Pronto. Of course, the atmosphere continues. There's a great opportunity out there for you with your home value up and the mortgage rates down. Use that combination of things to get your finances in a great place here early in 2022. You can pay off credit cards, You can remodel your house with this cash from your home's equity, or you can combine it and do it both. Do both of those things. Make your house more valuable, lower your monthly payment, pay off some bills. You can do all of these things through Home Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto can convert the home's equity into cash in as little as 2 weeks with no cost to you. They pay those closing costs for you. It's zero hassle. It's all digital now, a lot less paperwork than in the past, and a lot of people are taking full advantage of this. For example, you could take out $50,000. You can take $40,000 of it, and you can pay off bills, whether it's credit card bills, tuition payments, whatever might be piling up on you. Take the rest of the money and put it towards a home a home improvement project, and upgrade that bathroom or kitchen or whatever is in your house that you want to address. You can lock in a new APR in the 2s. You can lower that monthly bill. So what are you waiting on? Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-50. Let me try that again. Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780. Or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Cooler day today with a high of only 48 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Our next round of rain moves in tonight. Flooding concerns go up the rest of the week.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. The cold winds of winter are here, and that means it's a great time to replace those old, drafty windows. Pella is the leader in the industry for top-quality window and door products. But Pella Windows and Doors are also affordable, extremely affordable. Pella has payment plans less than $95 a month to replace your windows. So, I suggest you purchase your windows and doors from the experts at Pella of Nashville. Go to PellaofNashville.com.
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. I started my first business in the basement of a factory over 30 years ago. We had no heat and no air conditioning. Instead of customers, our office visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes. Our office flooded often, and we used blankets as our office walls. We were broke and needed help. That's why I created Patriot Software, to help small business owners with simple payroll for 1 to 100 employees. And if you need help, we will help you for free. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey, what's going on? Chase McCabe here to tell you about Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. Dr. Rice, is it true that according to the American Dental Association, roughly 80% of people in the U.S. have some form of gum disease?
That's right, but our non-surgical periodontal therapy is painless and effective in keeping your mouth healthy. And the mouth is the window to the health of the rest of the body.
I know you have some different things that you offer. What else can you tell us?
Well, first, who doesn't want whiter teeth? Our new Zoom LED whitening system is less sensitive, and you get more than 5 shades of whitening. And we just upgraded both our lasers to kill bacteria during your cleaning.
What about taking care of cold sores some people may have, which can become painful? Can lasers help with that too?
Yes, the gentle laser setting will kill the virus in your cold sores all naturally while reducing the healing time by half. And our special soft tissue wand uses warm, light laser therapy to give instant relief to severe TMJ pain. Our approach to holistic dentistry is unique.
Give Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine a call today at 615-373-4488 or visit kellyerice.com. You'll certainly be glad you did.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robbie and Rexroad. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by the Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
We'll talk college hoops with Dane Bradshaw coming up at 11:15. At Stephanating on Twitter. Says, listening to D-Mace talk Preds hockey is the highlight of my day. Woohoo! D-Mace!
I got to get myself back immersed into it, you know?
That's right. This is where it's getting fun, man. We're about to go into March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Stanley on Twitter also tweets at us and says, nice of Cunnin to test out Bob's equipment there, you know?
The old cup check.
Man, I remember those, when you're in high school, you had to wear those, you had to wear something to protect your inner thigh area. Do hockey players wear that?
Oh, yeah, man. You're taking your life into your own hands.
Ask Bob Bobrovsky. Yes. The answer is yes.
It's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
And football players don't.
Well, you don't want that puck.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
you don't want that puck
we
anywhere
don't.
near you, okay? Because that is
can
going to be lights out.
I can see that, but baseball and hockey, you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe in the outfield, D-Mace, if you're playing outfield in baseball, okay, you wanna not do that. That's okay. And all I can think about now is the Bad News Bears when Walter Matthau passes him out and they throw him back at him, or eventually they refuse and they throw all the cups back at him. But,
Well, just think about
if
the
you're
goalie.
playing infield, if you're playing
the
catcher,
goalie and the
if you're playing
catcher,
pitcher.
right? The catcher is absolutely got to wear one.
Really, I've seen some pitchers too. You better.
Yeah,
you
true.
Better. You're pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should have been wearing one in kid pitch. Thank goodness I
You weren't
survived.
wearing one in the kid pitch?
No, I never did.
Oh,
no, I didn't.
Mistake on you.
You are lucky, man.
I escaped. I didn't escape tearing my meniscus, but I escaped getting popped. I can tell you that. I got lucky.
Risky.
We can laugh about it now because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Okay, here's the question.
Uh-huh.
This is a really interesting trivia question when you think about the Predators franchise history. Do you realize last night what happened was only the second time that's ever happened in franchise history?
The shorthand goal?
And you say, no, that was their first of the year, by the way.
It was.
Pretty amazing.
That came at a good time. Yeah.
First time they've ever come back with 3 game-tying goals and go on and win by 2 goals. Okay? 2 or more goals.
How about that?
Second time that's happened in franchise history. The last time it happened was in 2005 against this team. Tell Elijah Campbell at our Hillside Medical Game Studio on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com who that opponent was, where the Predators came back with 3 game-tying goals and went on to win by 2 goals in 2005. Who was that opponent? And if you can answer that correctly, you're going to see Train, Jewel, Blues Traveler, and Will Anderson at Ascend Amphitheater on June 21st. 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. Elijah, give them a little bit of a minute. They're going to have to Google, I'm sure. They'll probably be Googling.
I got to admit, I would have to Google. I'm stumped on that one. I don't remember this game.
Okay.
Yeah, 2005. That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
I thought you were going to take
I was still a young pup.
Got to make them earn it. I mean, these tickets aren't even on sale yet.
Yeah,
okay,
this is good. Blues
Traveler.
Traveler.
Can't even buy them yet.
I like the Blues Traveler.
I like Jewel.
I like
Train.
How about this?
Train.
Yeah, it's a good variety there. How about this stat last night? Did you see Colton Sisson's final stats, Darren?
No, so that's where I was going. Jeez, get out of my head.
Okay.
That's exactly where I was going. So I did want to, because I don't know the answer to this one. okay, and you probably
we looked it up.
I don't know if you guys so you did. Okay, so I said on post game
we had some tidbits on this.
Okay, so I was going through some number. Well, I'm doing.
I know
you,
but on the screen, if you had eyed the screen at the right time, I get it.
Dude, I'm doing it by myself. I'm sorry. I'm not eyeing the screen when I'm doing it by myself.
Your trusty producer could have passed along. But of course they're doing multitasks.
Hey, Jared Cassidy is learning on the fly. He's doing a great job, but I'm not going to task him. He's tough. He's getting a lot of seat time right now. But
it's a lot going on.
I said on post game, I have no idea the last time. Like, I don't remember a player going 16-0, 100%, 16 faceoffs, winning all 16. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think. And I was like, when was the last time that happened? Because I said, you see a player, take 7 draws and they win all 7. Like, okay. But 16, I said, I can't remember the last time, or if I've ever seen that. I would love to know the last Predator to do that, or the last time that happened in the National Hockey League. So do you have any answers for me?
I'm here to help you. Okay. I'm here to help you. We looked up both.
By the way, we got an answer on the first call.
Really?
Wow.
First call. Got it right.
Okay. Well, so tell me the game in 2005 real quick, and then I'll give you the answer on the face-off thing.
Well, it's appropriate timing because it is the next opponent for the Predators, the Dallas Stars.
Back in 2005.
November 10th. 2005, the Preds won 5-3.
5-3. Boy, I got to go back and look up that game. I don't remember it. As far as the faceoffs, the funny line was Ryan Johansson told Nick Barnowski after the game. He was standing there. Ryan Johansson takes his fair share of faceoffs, and he told Colton Sisson, he goes, "Man, you need to take that score sheet and frame it." At 16-0. So the Predators had never had that happen before. The closest was Paul Gostad, who, interestingly enough, was kind of a mentor to Colton Sissons as he came up into the league. 2015, Paul Gostad was a good faceoff guy. He went 13-0 in a game. But nobody had gone 16-0 since 2017, Patrice Bergeron from Boston.
So
went 16-0.
In 2017 was the last time it happened in the league. Okay.
Yep.
And what did you say was the last time a Predator did that?
Nobody's ever done 16-0 as a Predator. That's a franchise record. Gostad went 13-0.
13-0 is the best. Goose.
Yeah. So Sissons is the new record holder. 16-0.
Well, there you go.
That's going to be hard to beat.
I wish you would have called in last night. I'm saying this stuff out loud on the air. Like, man, I wish I knew the answer because I don't know. I don't know the last. I was like, I don't know if a Predator's ever done that. I could have, used your help last night. So you guys had that on your post-game show?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
nice
our
work.
Geico stat of the day, or Geico stat made ezy, as we call it.
Very nice.
Good job.
Congratulations, Aaron Brown. Aaron, wow. I did not think we would get the first call.
Impressive.
Yeah. First call, Aaron nailed it. Dallas. I don't know what he told Elijah, but he told him Dallas Stars.
I don't remember that one. There's been a lot of games between then and now.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yep, there have been a lot of games. That was 17 years ago. So, but Aaron, you go enjoy that show at Ascend Amphitheater, and thanks for listening. We'll come back. Hour number 2 next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
An effective defense often hinges on sophisticated strategies relating to income tax projections, business valuations, spousal support claims. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Nashville area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 615-457-8700. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, and Gallatin. Cordell & Cordell, 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as the Nashville Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning this Saturday night. Puck drops at 6:30, but the party starts at 6 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
All right, folks, second half of the NBA season is here, and you can turn every Thursday into payday with NBA on TNT on FanDuel Sportsbook. Joe Rexford here to let you know it doesn't matter if you win or lose because FanDuel is giving all customers $10 back every Thursday in site credit. All you got to do is bet a $10 or more same-game parlay on any NBA on TNT game. Same-game parlays, of course, let you combine the money line, the point spread, all kinds of different player props into one wager. One of the Thursday games this week, little Warriors at Blazers. I think I'd definitely go Warriors on the money line. You know, Steph Curry, after that All-Star performance, give me over on his threes and give me over on the game. Just over everything on that. Of course, you can do whatever you want to do, understanding it's a perfect way to turn a small bet into a big-time score. And win or lose, you're guaranteed to get $10 added to your account. One of many reasons FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sportsbook. It's easy to use, all kinds of specials, and you get paid fast. Get $10 back every Thursday in site credit with TNT Thursdays. If you're new, sign up with promo code Joe102. Make every moment more this NBA season. Again, that's promo code Joe102 exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is now withdrawable site credit. Expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Mid-State Sports League spring registration is now open. With 7 different sports to choose from, there is something for every player. Join Nashville's largest sports leagues and register as a free agent or bring your own team. Spring registration is now open for softball, sand volleyball, soccer, kickball, flag football, and basketball. For a full list of adult and youth leagues, check out midstatesports.com. That's midstatesports.com. It's no debate. Play Mid-State.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Second hour DDC presented by Creation CBD products. Curated for life. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Derek Mason with you. Dane Bradshaw coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll talk some college hoops with him. Looking forward to that discussion. On our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. No name, looks like Taylor. I'm going through previous text. Taylor, remember, put those names on there. Is trading for Thomas Hurdle a possibility? They need another scoring winger on that second line to make a run. How do we feel about the trading deadline, which is now less than a month away?
Well, I have been talking to Chris Mason about this. We have been brainstorming. Of course, we are not hooked in with the GM in any way, shape, or form. But it does look to me like, for example, on that second line, last night they moved Phil Tomasino up. He didn't have a huge, impactful game. I think Tomasino is going to be a really good player. You know, they were talking, we were talking stats yesterday. We were talking to some people, the coaches, and some analytics sites, I think, will back this up. Phil Tomasino doesn't play a lot of minutes, but the minutes he plays, he generates a high percentage of chances per minute. He's still learning the game, the 200-foot game. I just think he's going to be really, really good over time, but he may not be ready to play that role right now. He's getting a chance.
He's 20 years old.
And he's only 20. They moved Eli Tolvanen down to the fourth line. So both of those guys, I think, eventually will find their way into the top 6 or at least the top 9. I think they're going to be very useful players. 200-foot game. They've learned to play the right way, and they're only going to get better. But right now, could you use a veteran that you could stick in there and play with Ryan Johansson? I think the answer is absolutely yes. The only question is, what are you willing to give up? And I think at this stage in the competitive transition, right, you're not looking to trade your first-round pick or your top prospect or anything like that. Now, Hurdle is a really interesting one because he is a free agent at the end of the season. He is a straight-up rental. So what will teams offer to get him if they put him on the block? I think the Sharks keep hoping that they can sign him. He's kind of like their Forsberg. But unlike the Predators, the Sharks aren't quite where the Predators are. A few more question marks. They've got to sell Hurdle on their young nucleus of players. But, they've got some contracts that are going to hinder them. Burns, et cetera. Carlson, those guys are getting older, still taking up a huge chunk of the cap. But they have not really put him on the market yet. But I still think it might be a little too rich to get a guy like that. But I do think there might be a guy you could put on the top 6 and give up more of a third or a fourth-round pick, maybe a second-level prospect that you're willing to part with to bolster your team down the stretch. I do think there's enough sellers out there. You might find the right guy. It may not be a superstar, but it might be a veteran that's an upgrade that could play with Ryan Johansson.
What do you think about Phil Kessel?
That's an interesting one. Does he fit with the way the Predators play? I don't know, but the guy can score. The guy is a goal scorer. Does he fit with Johansson? Well, Johansson's a pretty good passer. Kessel's a shooter. That's an interesting one to me because I think the price will be kind of in the range that you're looking for there. And reportedly, I saw this yesterday, Arizona might be willing to meet you halfway on the price, right? Retain a little bit of salary. Not that that's a huge issue for the Predators, but Kessel, I think his contract expires at the end of the year. So it's just a straight-up rental. I think that's the type of guy that you might take a look at. And there might be several other options out there to where if it's too rich to get Kessel, maybe there's another team with another guy that will accept your price. So that's my thought. What are your thoughts on
Well, I thought maybe they could, trade him and you have to maybe buy some season tickets to their new arena at Arizona State. Maybe that's all they would want. I don't know. Maybe that. I think it's worth exploring. I mean, if you're asking me,
he's been in a lot of games.
Let me just tell you, if you're asking me my if I had my dream scenario, who I wanted him back when the first go around he became available. You know this. And obviously, he hasn't missed a beat since going to his new home, which, he looks the same as he did forever in San Jose. I mean, if you're asking me, I'd love to see Joe Pavelski here if I had my druthers. That's
now that's where Thursday's game becomes so important from a lot of angles, right? If Dallas has a couple of really good weeks here, they're not going to trade Joe Pavelski. But if they sink, then they've got to think about it because Joe Pavelski will be a very attractive rental to somebody because, like you said, Darren, there's so much to like about his game.
I wanted him the first go around. I mean, you know that. And he's been fantastic in Dallas. So, I mean, I know he's getting up there in age. I think he's, 37, 38 years old, but the guy produces.
He can still play. He's a center, so you'd have to figure out, does he fit with the Predators with what they have at center? So I don't know. I think it's the winger that could play with Johansson would be ideal, but I mean, Joe Pavelski, you find a way to get a guy like that in your lineup. And he fits the rugged style. Is Kessel a little more finesse? Yeah, like Hal Gill has great insight on Phil Kessel because he played with him in previous stops there with Pittsburgh. Kessel, of course, has won a lot of games, so he's a unique kind of player. So I don't know. There's plenty of names out there. Some, we can't think of them all right now, but as you get closer to the deadline, you'll start to see a lot of names pop up here.
Kessel looks like he always has to go to the bathroom, you know?
Well, he also looks like he's about 55 years old, but he
does.
never misses a game.
Yeah, it's true.
Derek, who would be the guy in football that you look at the guy and you're like, this guy's got a bad body. He doesn't look like he can play. He doesn't look like he belongs, but the guy goes out there and balls.
Hey, there was a bunch of those,
Kessel.
Willie.
That's Kessel. Kessel walks in, and he kind of makes fun of himself, right? He walks in. There's pictures online where he accepts the fact that, he's not, Mr. Universe, right? He's not cut. His body's not – he doesn't look like he's ever lifted a weight or anything like that. But he never misses a game. He's played in like 9. He may have the record when it's all over. He may play in 1,000 straight games. Whew. So who would be the guy in football, Derek?
I mean,
it just doesn't look like he would play.
There are a bunch of those guys that, and a lot of them were either quarterbacks or on the offensive defensive line. So you take your pick. You can pick out a bunch of those guys that, you walk in and you're like, man, goodness. But then they get out on the football field and it's like, okay.
All right.
I guess you can look however you want to look.
Real quick, because then we got to get to Dane Bradshaw on the other side. Kyle on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, what about Max Domi? Plays tough and gritty, can also score, and is quick. Former 70-point player.
I'd have to look at his contract.
Isn't his asking price going to be kind of high, though? He's still young, right? He's in his 20s, mid-20s.
He is. It depends. I got to look at his contract set. Is he a rental? If he is, I think you're only really looking at rentals when you get down to it for the right price. Domi has bounced around a lot, right? He's played on a lot of different teams. So he just hasn't found the spot where he's flourished. It's an interesting thought. I'll have to research that one a little bit more.
We'll have to come back, and we'll switch gears, talk a little college hoops with Dane Bradshaw. We do that next.
Sometimes their glass is half full.
That was unbelievable. It was the best NFL draft they've ever had.
Sometimes glass half empty.
What are we getting ourselves into here? Tough game.
And sometimes it's all about the numbers.
One win, and they've gone on this streak, and now they're at 500.
Hang out with Darren, Donick, and Chase from 10 to 2 during your workday. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Chef John from Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville. Invite you to come join us for breakfast and lunch. We are offering some exciting new menu items. For breakfast, we have a smoked prime rib hash. Comes with a sunny side up egg, hominy, caramelized onions. It's a great start to your day. We are featuring a sourdough pancake made with a sourdough bread starter. It's a fun spin on the classic buttermilk pancake. As always, Kitchen Notes is serving biscuits all day. Come join us and create a memorable experience here at the Omni Hotel. Food is all about memories for us. We'd like you to start a new memory here at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Hotel.
Breakfast at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
At Genesis Diamonds, it's not just a new year. It's a new opportunity to bring you more choices, more value, more ways to celebrate your love. So we've expanded our selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds from a half carat to 15 carats, all shapes, all sizes, all at our famous no middleman prices. We've brought in even more exclusive designer jewelry, new cutting-edge fashion-forward rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, and pendants. We have the styles and looks on every woman's wish list, things you can't find anywhere else. And for 2022, Genesis is now offering a truly spectacular collection of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. We have all the most popular styles in stock with no wait list and no restrictions. Is this the year you reward yourself with a premier name and timepieces? Come to Genesis in 2022 and let our non-commissioned experts help you celebrate those important milestones. We guarantee the best value, the highest quality, and the strongest warranties and guarantees in the jewelry industry. Genesis Diamonds and Luxury Pre-Owned Rolex Timepieces, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
I've used it for a year now, and I've worried 0 time. I just enter in the time, it's calculated, and it's taken out of bank account, and it's just done. I love it.
Visit us at patriotsoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
Accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Thursday night.
Rene takes a long elevated shot, and he scores!
A legend is honored.
Rene lost his stick, and then he still made the stick. Rene stops him, and the Firecrackers win!
As Pecorane's number 35 is retired.
Love my teammates. My relationship with the fans, this city means the world to me.
And the Predators battle the Dallas Stars. Coverage begins at 6 with face-off at 7:30 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
We are. It's getting close to tournament time. SEC tournament just around the corner. NCAA tournament just around the corner. March just around the corner. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Derek Mason with you. We say hello and good morning to Dane Bradshaw, former Vol. You can find his work on SEC Network. Does a great job of covering college basketball in the Southeastern Conference. Dane, how you doing?
I'm great, guys. How about you?
Yeah, thanks for doing this. We're doing fantastic. Nice win by Tennessee on the road last night. And I just want to start there because I said this on Monday's show after their loss in Arkansas, and I realize that's been a tough place to win at. I don't think they've won in Fayetteville since 2009. And I know it's not easy to go there and beat the Hogs. But just watching this team and watching Rick Barnes over the years in Knoxville, I know he's a good coach, and I know he continues to do well with bringing in talented players. The recruiting has been great. But I don't trust them because they have games like that too many times where you know how this works. You get in the tournament setting where it's one and done and you score 48 points, you're done. Is it wrong to think like that? Tell me why tell me what you think about it.
Well, look, if they ended up losing in the second round of the NCAA tournament and they lost 55-52, I think everybody would be saying, oh, well, we've seen that before, saw it coming type thing. But I don't know. I think those offensive woes are starting to be behind them. Now, do they have a ton of guys that just simply break you down, go get you a bucket? They don't have a Jabari Smith NBA guy that you can just shoot over people with when you aren't able to operate your offense against a good defense. But, look, their defense is phenomenal. It keeps them in games. They have no bad losses. They shoot it horribly on the road in front of 20,000 and still had a chance to win the game against Arkansas. So, look, I would trust them a lot more as a 3 seed as opposed to a 4 or 5 seed. I think that would benefit them greatly because now all of a sudden I think you're in the Sweet 16, barring an upset, whereas that 4 and 5 seed is usually most prone to the upsets by a 12 or 13 game, or 12 or 13 seed. So I'll hedge my bet a little bit on the Vols there, but I think their resume is going to get them a 3 seed. I think they'll continue to have some quality wins over the course of the next 2 weeks, and I think their offense is balanced. They don't get much from their 5-man, and you just don't know if Josiah Jordan-James is going to make shots at the 4 and what kind of bench production they're going to get. So, and look, when it's kind of your team, they're under a microscope and you see their warts more than you do other teams, but every team's got them. You know, even Auburn, as good as Auburn is, the questions about Auburn is, all right, yeah, but how good is their guard play really? When March is all about guard play, are you taking Tennessee over Auburn right now because Tennessee's got better guards than Auburn, or are you taking Auburn's front court and their elite big men when it comes to March Madness? I think a lot of teams would favor guard play when it comes to making a deep run. So every team has them. Kentucky has their issues as well. Nobody's perfect, but I do think really top 6 teams in the SEC are going to have themselves a pretty good chance to advance, not only get in, but to advance.
Yeah, and it is setting up the big one, obviously. You just mentioned Auburn, Bruce Pearl coming to town. Knoxville is going to be an awesome game. Tennessee just responded with that big game, getting revenge on Kentucky and beating the Wildcats. This is another big test, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. If you want to get that 3 seed, it would start right there by beating Auburn, wouldn't it?
It would, and I favor Tennessee in this one the same way you've seen the home court advantage play out well for the SEC. It's had the best home court advantage statistically of all the conferences this year in college basketball. When you think about the environments that you see at Auburn, at Kentucky, Bud Walton Arena, Tennessee, even LSU before they were struggling, once they had an injury to their point guard, but that place was rocking pretty good. So I think Tennessee will hold serve at the home court. I think it'll make it interesting in the final week to see who wins the SEC title, because all of a sudden now Auburn's at 12-2 in conference play. If they lose that one to Tennessee, now all of a sudden they could be tied with Kentucky and could 14-4 get you a tie for first in the SEC. It certainly could, and that could be a logjam with Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, maybe even Arkansas. But I think Auburn only loses one more, with that one being Tennessee. Then they win a tough one on the road at Mississippi State and clinch the title against South Carolina on the final Saturday in SEC play to win it 15-3.
Dane, I've been saying that there's a lot of really good teams in the country, but I don't really know if you can trust anybody, really. I think there's a lot of teams capable of getting on that magical run and winning 6 games and cutting down the nets without naming all the teams. So I said what I was setting up for is I think it's going to be a fantastic tournament. I really do, because I think there's going to be upsets, and I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun, because I do think there's a lot of good teams in the country. But how many teams do you think, like I said, you don't have to name them, but just off the top of your head, like how many teams do you think truly have a shot at winning it all, in your opinion?
Gosh, I think all of them in the top 8 probably.
Okay.
Gonzaga, Arizona, Auburn, Kentucky, Kansas, Purdue, Duke. Baylor had an injury recently. Texas Tech has an incredible defense. Is it enough to win them a national title? I don't know. But you think about last year and how UCLA just wasn't healthy until the end of the season. And, man, once they got healthy, they went on a roll in March. And so are there teams out there that are going to be similar, that finally get that healthy squad and, you're maybe an 8-9 seed and you upset the 1, and all of a sudden now you got the inside track to the Final Four. So the March is full of surprises. I think this has been a great year for college basketball with, last year, of course, with no fans in the building, and all sports suffered in terms of just a true interest and buy-in when there was no environment there. But you had the transfer portal. You had the name, image, and likeness. You had all those things that were happening around the game that people, either said, hey, finally, or they disagreed with. It's going to hurt the game. And whether you agree with it or not, I think the viewership's been there. The interest has been there. The quality of play has been really good. And you've got the blue bloods back too. I mean, and you couldn't say that a year ago when Kentucky, Kansas, so many of those schools, Duke, they were down. And college basketball is better when those big names are in it, and when you can add complementary pieces like an Auburn, like Tennessee, or even Houston. I mean, there's just some good storylines in college basketball right now.
We'll talk with Dane Bradshaw, SEC Network. Dane, when you look at the SEC headed into the tournament, and you look at those top 3 or 4 teams in the SEC, obviously Kentucky, you know what they're about. Auburn has shown some chink in armor. Tennessee has just been playing really well at times. Which one of those 3 teams would you trust to move further in the NCAA tournament amongst those 3 teams?
And I try not to let brands influence my decision. I'm guilty of having to check myself though some, because it's just when you see Kentucky and you see Duke, you get a little bit of more trust because of how they've been there, even if their roster hadn't been there before. What I like about Kentucky is Oscar Tshiebwe, of course, who's likely going to be National Player of the Year. He gives you that post presence, imposes his will. They can win games low scoring, they can win games high scoring, and they've got Xavier Wheeler and Ty Washington in the backcourt. They've got a shooter in Kellen Grady. So these are things that you can't always say about Kentucky in years past. Maybe good guard play, but did they have a shooter? Do they have an inside guy? And do they have a guy that can get you buckets off the bounce? They have all those things. They're fragile because the games Kentucky has lost has been when one of those 2 point guards goes down with an ankle injury or gets hit with a screen or whatever. But when they're healthy, I like Kentucky over any of those teams. And even though Auburn beat Kentucky, again, that Xavier Wheeler went out with an injury in that one as well. But to me, it's just Bruce Pearl's teams typically have been known for three-point shooting, terrific guard play. And this year they're terrific, but for different reasons. It's the great front court and the rim protection. They don't have to turn you over to get stopped. But again, when it comes down to March, Auburn's guard plays are good. Auburn's guards, are good, not great. So I'm anxious to see how Bruce Pearl tries to right the ship a little bit in the backcourt while still making Jabari Smith the focal point of that offense.
Now, can LSU be a surprise team in the SEC tournament? They have signature wins over Kentucky and UT. They got Kentucky coming up in the next, I think, today or tomorrow. But could this be a team that advanced far in the SEC tournament and then set themselves up for a possible NCAA tournament berth?
Yeah, they certainly could. They've had an up and down season, but there's been good reason for it. Not an excuse, but a reason. I mean, they lost their point guard Xavier Pinson, and it's been pretty clear they're a different team without him. They really struggled. But when they were fully healthy, again, they took on the gauntlet of a schedule in January and more than held their own. And their defense is for real. And, I was just talking about how this is an Auburn team that's different than typical Bruce Pearl teams. Same thing with LSU. Will Wade was known as high-scoring offense, didn't get many stops. They're going to outscore you to win. Now they out-defend you to win. And they're a legit defensive team. They mix up presses. And so they've hurt their seeding a little bit with some of the slide they had when Pinson was out. But now all of a sudden he's back. And I think they've got a good chance. The teams, to me, the team you worry about that hadn't necessarily had the injuries, it's just what are you going to get game in, game out is a team like Alabama, who's probably going to still find a way to get a 5 seed because they've had victories over the likes of Gonzaga and others. But that's probably the one I trust the least in the tournament, whereas Arkansas is one of those where they might not be the highest seed and won't be for the NCAA tournament out of SEC teams, but right now they're the hottest team, and they really showed me something when they went on the road and won at Florida because their 2 best wins had been at home. So you knew how good they could play in front of their home crowd and 20,000 packed, but could they take that show on the road? And they did it impressively at Gainesville last night.
Definitely some intriguing teams in the SEC. We're talking SEC basketball with Dane Bradshaw. Dane, really have enjoyed watching you cover the league and go all the various places. It's nice to get back into the gyms, isn't it? After so many games, I don't know where you did the games, maybe from your house or whatever last year, but I just love it when the guys are side, court side, where you can really see what's going on over there.
Yeah, and there's a few of those long travel days where you're like, you know what, the basement wasn't too bad on a night like this.
Right. You just got to roll downstairs, right?
Yeah, and you can get through the game by calling it from home. And there are some times where it benefits. I had a travel issue where my flight got canceled, and they switched me to a game where I could call it from home and had another guy locally that took my spot. So there are some good advantages there just from an operations and management standpoint. But, when you call the game from home, you think you do an okay job and you got through it, maybe no huge errors, maybe some stuff that nobody really noticed. But then once you get out there on the court and you really remind yourself of how much more you can see and the reactions and the communication between you and your partner, and then, of course, not just being restricted to following a camera angle, but you use your eyes as well. And the shoot-arounds, the pre-games. I mean, when you're sitting around and you're talking to Eric Musselman or the amount of time we spent with Konzo Martin yesterday after a shoot-around, you're not getting that type of in-depth conversation on a scheduled Zoom call from 12:15 to 12:30. You're just not. And so,
right.
Or I got some great insight from Eric Musselman on the road where we were just in the cardio room at the hotel.
Yeah, I heard you tell that story on there. That was good stuff in the workout room, right? You got some good tidbits.
That stuff you don't get, or at the cafe, or you're at the bar the night before, and the SIDs, or trainer or whoever's there having a beer with you. I mean, those types of things that all kind of cumulative effect that help the broadcast in a positive way.
All right, before we let you go, Dane, I want to get your your mindset, it's going to be a great spotlight game on Saturday. You know it. When Auburn comes to town and Bruce Pearl brings the show in there, you played for him. One thing I've always been fascinated with, this goes back to when you were playing, the green light he gives his team. It's such an interesting thing to watch. Recently I watched Auburn play Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt played some really good basketball, was in position, to really take that game deep. And then, of course, Jabari Smith went superhuman. He went beast mode on him. But the green light that he gives his players, anybody can shoot at any time. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, I'm hoping anybody except for Jabari Smith shoots the ball here, because Jabari Smith is having, a first-class night. And so some coaches would say, look, you're not allowed to shoot. I want the ball to go to Jabari Smith. But the confidence that he gives his players is such a positive thing as well. So what was that like for you? Because I think every player wants to feel like they've got the confidence when they're out there.
Yeah, well, they do. And I think he'll live with average shooters shooting a couple with confidence, and he'll certainly live with really good shooters taking some questionable shots because they can make some of them and give them the freedom to play, and it keeps the defense on their heels. And he would much rather his team take a few questionable shots in exchange for playing loosely and with a ton of confidence and being the aggressor. I think the issue he has now is he doesn't have many good shooters on that team. And so you want to exude that confidence, and you don't want to rein them in too much. But you also got to kind of say, hey, turn one down every now and again, because it was easy. Like, he had guys like Jared Harper and Bryce Brown. Those were two great guards in the backcourt. And they would come down and they'd take some really questionable shots in transition, sometimes from deep, contested, whatever. But you also thought it had a chance of going in. Right now, the shooters he has out there, when they shoot, they let it go, and you got your fingers crossed and you're hoping it goes in. That's where I think he's got a little bit of an issue in terms of just addressing the quality of each possession and saying, hey, guys, the numbers are what they are here. This is where you're best at. This is where we need to get the majority of our shots. Nothing business, just personal, which is something I know he will take care of. And you can't sleep on the amount of adjustments this guy can make. That Auburn team that went to the Final Four, they weren't playing great in January or February. They started getting it on going late February and then went on a great run in the SEC tournament and all that. So, the team you see in January and you might trust early, mid-February might not always be the same one you get in March, and vice versa.
Dane, really appreciate the visit, as always. Thanks for talking some college hoops with us. It's going to be fun down the stretch. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Keep up the good work. Dane Bradshaw, SEC Network, doing a fantastic job. Former Vol. Tennessee and Auburn is going to be a huge one coming up this weekend. We'll come back. More on the other side as you listen to the DDC on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexroad for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takeuchi dealer.
This is Hal Gill here for my good friends at Dunkin'. I grew up in Boston with the Dunks on almost every corner. Now I am wicked excited my favorite coffee moved with me to Nashville. The newest location is at 500 Cool Springs Boulevard. Dunks has special items for you to share with your special someone. Try the brownie batter. Of course, Dunks has all your favorites as well. Breakfast sandwiches, pastries, donuts, and as always, my favorite coffee. Go brighten up your day. Go get you Dunks.
Join us in Smashville to experience hard hits, big goals, and golden moments. Your Nashville Predators are in action at Bridgestone Arena, and now is the time to get your tickets. Introducing the Paint the Town Preds pack, complete with 3 games, a $25 Yeehaw Brewing Company gift card, 2022 Stanley Cup playoff priority, and more. Visit NashvillePredators.com/paint to secure your pack. These are the games you don't want to miss as the Preds make their push to the playoffs. Join us in Painting the Town Preds and secure your ticket package today. NashvillePredators.com/paint.
Attention veterans of Middle Tennessee. Little Guys Movers wants to put your hard-earned skills and leadership talent to work with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. Be your own boss and build a team with standards as high as your own, and all while serving your community with the same hustle that you served your country. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Start a fulfilling, profitable new chapter of your life as a member of a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe, Program Director at 102.5 The Game, and when our crew is out, we want to look our best. Thankfully, we have Authentically American taking care of all of our apparel. The way your team looks is everything. Enhance your company's image with the help of veteran-owned and operated Authentically American. For you parents out there, they'll take care of your kids' team apparel too. It's Authentically American, and yep, it's made in America. Check them out at authenticallyamerican.us. Mention the game and they'll handle the setup and artwork free of charge. That's authenticallyamerican.us.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's as the neighborhood bar and restaurant to catch the next Preds game. Jasper's is located on West End Avenue and offers a fun atmosphere with a game room, TVs, and a large bar and lounge area. Plus they offer free parking. That's right, free parking on West End, and offer specials for every Preds game day, including $10 smash burgers and $3 bottle domestics. So come on down to Jasper's next game day for happy hour every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. and 2-for-1 beers all day on Sundays. Just tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
ESPN's Teron Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, Nashville's premier mobile tire company. Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Poyle. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Good stuff from Dane Bradshaw. Really good stuff from him. Appreciate him joining us, talking some hoops with him. It is that time of year. There's no doubt about it. By the way, you can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook every single day. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. I saw this, Derek. By the way, Willie has taken off. He is going to the PECA. I guess he's got some duties at the PECA luncheon today. So big day for him, big night tomorrow night for him. But I saw this during the break, and I don't think this is going to be any great surprise, but still says a lot. The Winter Olympics that just ended, you know, they just had the closing ceremonies, Sunday night? Lowest Olympics ratings ever.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm not surprised.
I hate it. I hate it for those athletes that train year-round, and this is their big stage, and you got to wait 4 years for it. And, you know, look, we're guilty. We didn't talk about it. I didn't watch it, and I just didn't. I got the vibe that nobody else was watching either, so why spend the time on the show? Because I just didn't feel like there was enough interest in this market.
I watched a few of the downhill ski events just because I never really watched them before, and it just intrigued me a little. But I watched a few of those, and it seemed like those competitors, they're skiing forever downhill. Man, goodness. Man, but other than that, didn't watch, like you said, I didn't watch much of it. Other than that, I didn't watch anything else. And I guess no one else did either.
Yeah.
The hockey players didn't go.
I know.
So that takes away a lot of the interest. So
unfortunately, the ladies came up just short against Canada. But, yeah, this year's Olympics in Beijing, lowest ratings ever.
Well, you know what? The only place they can go is up.
Well, yes, that's a good point.
It's a good part about it.
That is the good part about it. So, Elijah, jump in there on this because I asked this to Dane, and I want you guys, like I said, I don't need an exact count. I'm just asking your opinion because I think it's pretty wide open. But how wide open is the question? How many teams realistically in the country do you think can win it all? Realistically. Is it 10? Is it 20? Is it 30? Is it 5?
I mean, if you're looking at the tournament, you always say, well, anybody can win it.
Well, yeah, but, that's
realistically.
That's not realistic.
I mean, maybe 6?
Really?
7, maybe?
You think only 6?
Yeah, that loss Villanova had the other night. Was it last night?
Last night.
It was just like
they let that one
know.
slip away.
It was a debacle.
But everybody's got that. Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think there's probably 12. There's 12 teams that I think about that can win it. 6, I feel confident because their flaws aren't as bad as like others. Like Purdue's got the best offense in college basketball by like a reasonably like large margin, but they can't guard anybody. Like, and it's a serious problem. Like, they're outside the top 100 in defensive efficiency because they go through stretches where they can't guard anybody. I think they got like a 20-plus point lead on Ohio State last month, and Ohio State scored 40 points in a 10-minute span to get themselves back in the game with a minute left. And Purdue does that a lot. Like, Purdue can win it if they can hold teams to under 70.
But they've also got warts, and they can be out early.
Exactly. Yeah. I think their wart is pretty bad. Like, their wart can get them knocked out.
But you look at a team like Kansas, who has the best strength of schedule in college basketball. I mean, you figure they can win it too.
Oh yeah, Kansas is definitely in that group there. The Big 12 has 3 teams in that group that I think can really win it all, and that's them, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Texas Tech is sometimes they go through. They're like Tennessee, where they'll go through like 10 minutes where they can score 10 points, and they have a hard time buying a bucket.
But they feel a lot more comfortable in that role. Like
they love
that.
that.
I mean, when Chris Beer was there, they almost won a national championship because of that, right? I mean, they were in the national championship game. They're not afraid of games in the 50s. They're just not. They never have been. I'm not saying Tennessee's afraid because we know they're defensive-oriented team. They're very good defensively, but I don't feel the same about them as I do Texas Tech. I feel like Texas Tech, that has been what's brought them to prominence in the last 5-6 years, right? Just that style, that brand of basketball. In fact, they probably welcome that more than they don't. I don't think they want to win 82-78.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe the players would say yes because everybody wants to score, right? But I mean, that's not where. I mean, they have been one of the top programs in the league now for the last 5 years. I mean, they've been very good at basketball, but I mean, Tennessee, I don't trust them. I just think if they're not scoring and they're in a tournament setting, they're in big, big trouble.
Well, it goes back to how far can your defense carry you, especially in the early games. Now, if you make it to the later rounds, it's all about defense. Because so many teams, you play so many games, and teams tend to slow down just a little bit, so your defense can kind of kick in. Early on, it may be sort of you better start scoring, because if you don't, then you might get beat early. But, you look at a team like Kentucky, and like Dane said, you don't want to – it's like you almost gravitate toward them because of the name, but they may have one of the most complete teams if you're talking offense and defense, and then they got arguably the best player in college basketball. I think what would hold them back is their head coach.
Okay, fair. I mean, it's hard to push back on that.
Yeah, and their weakness isn't a terrible weakness. Defensively, I guess in terms of these other teams that are elite, Kentucky's not elite defensively, but they're still top 25.
They have an ability to play elite defense.
Yes.
And that's all. In a tournament, if you can get 3 stretches or later in the tournament of playing great defense, that can that can be your way or your pathway to a championship.
And if they play a Texas Tech in like the Sweet 16, I trust Kentucky to score 65 more so than I trust Texas Tech to hold them under 65 or even score 60 themselves. And I think that's where the matchup thing comes in. Like for Tennessee too, like when I did my bracket last week, I had Tennessee as a 3 seed playing Liberty as a 14, which could be dangerous because Tennessee's defense relies a lot on turning the other team over. Liberty doesn't turn the ball over a ton. Like they are very good at taking care of the ball. And they have one guy, Darius McGee, who can give you 30 on any given night. If Darius McGee gives them 25 against Tennessee, and Tennessee has to be able to win a possession-by-possession game against a really good three-point shooting team, which sometimes doesn't matter how good defense you play. If a team like Liberty can shoot like that, then they can upset you 14-3, and that could be a really tough draw. They play a team that doesn't shoot very well and kind of plays the same style they do. Tennessee can beat them by 20.
Liberty Bibberty. I love that. I do like that commercial. That actor can't do his lines, so they just voice over. Cracks me up. On our text line, no name, Purdue, Gonzaga, Kentucky, Kansas, and Villanova.
So that's 6.
I think
got Arizona.
I think they're in that group, but I mean, yeah, Arizona has to be in there. I mean, there's more. I think that has to. I mean, even let's see. Let me look at.
Is Auburn showing some chink in armor?
I think they kind of peaked a little
no
early
Auburn
for them.
in there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't hear Auburn.
They just said Houston as a sleeper. They added Houston as a sleeper. I mean, they've got to be in there. Texas Tech has got to be in there. Baylor, they got to be in there. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to win, but they have to be on that list, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and like the thing with Auburn is like I think they maybe peaked early. I still think they're an elite level team just because like no team in college basketball has their depth and athleticism and depth and size. Like not many people can bring, large guards, like 6'7" guards off the bench in waves the way Auburn can. And in a certain matchup, that can help you out a ton. And so I think for Auburn, it's going to be depending on like who all is in their bracket. And it also helps to have a guy who's 7-1 and has had 10-plus block games on multiple occasions this year. Right. That can be a separator. But Arizona's getting forgotten a lot of this conversation. I think they might be the best complete team or the most complete team in college basketball right now.
I could also see them getting upset in the tournament. But I do agree with you. But that's my whole point to this. All right, we'll come back, wrap up the second hour next.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Feeds now, Sissons coming on for the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Cooler day today with a high of only 48 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Our next round of rain moves in tonight. Flooding concerns go up the rest of the week.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel on you the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
At Cordell & Cordell, we focus on representing men in domestic relations cases.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
We recognize that our clients are going through perhaps the toughest time they will ever go through. We understand that everything that's important to them is on the table. Their assets, the role in their children's lives. That's an immense responsibility that our clients entrust us with, and we take that very seriously. We've been trained to do that. We've helped thousands of clients before, and it's our hope that you'll choose to entrust us with what's most important to you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Nashville area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 615-457-8700. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, and Gallatin. Cordell & Cordell, 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about the folks at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring is just around the corner, and if your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of the Spring Hill Early Spring Special in the month of February. Save up to $1,000 for Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months no-interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York-certified comfort expert company.
Mashing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Don't forget Smashville Live tonight on these airwaves, 6 o'clock hour. Special guest, plural. Pecorine, Scott Hartnell, Chris Mason, 6 to 7 tonight. Check it out. You can also watch it on the game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. Smashville Live every Wednesday, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Kyle on our text line said, "Holy bleep," but he didn't say bleep. He actually said it. I just said Liberty Bibberty 5 seconds before Darren just said that out loud. Liberty, it is funny how when I hear Liberty, I think of that cheesy commercial that I laugh at.
That's what they want you to do.
I know.
And that emu.
Yeah, that's why the commercial is
so cheesy. I don't love the emu, but I do love that one. He's the good-looking guy who's clearly dumb because he can't learn his lines, and so Liberty Bibberty.
That's not the guy from? Is that the actor from? What's the name of the vampire movie or
no?
You think Twilight?
Yeah, the Twilight movie.
No,
that's not him. It looks just like him. It looks like him.
Not quite.
It's not him.
Dang, I thought I was right.
So Kyle was thinking just like me. When you say Liberty, you just think Liberty Bibberty, you know?
Yeah.
So I meant to do this. Remember, I said this earlier, and I forgot to go back to it. So I don't know. You guys probably didn't see this, but social media. Remember, I referenced the bachelorette party was in town whenever the NFL draft was here, and the local TV station caught up with them and they're like, what's the deal with all the crowds? Nobody told us this draft thing was going to be here.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
Which went viral, and the whole country just piled on, and I would love the follow up to that story. Right? Mm-hmm. What happened when that girl got back home? Just amazing. But so I was looking on Twitter the other day, and there's a tweet from Bring Hockey Back and said, "Who's hitting Nissan Stadium for the Preds Bolts game this weekend?" I think these were Tampa fans, right? Mm-hmm. It's got a picture of Nissan Stadium, and then this person responds, "At Tampa Sports Girl, me, I'm going to be there Thursday through Tuesday." Then the next person says, his name is Michael Weston. I don't want to. It's like at Michael 926743226 lower E MA underscore. It's like, dude, just come up with something that Michael Weston says, "Hey, make sure you check out Beale Street if you get the time."
Yeah.
By the way, it took several messages before. Clearly, like I said, these were Bolts fans. Nobody to correct that person, so it was like,
go ahead and check out Beale Street. It's going to take you about 3 hours.
Yeah, good luck. Well, 3, actually longer than that. Yeah, go check it out. We'll see you.
You got a lot of free time on your hands there.
Exactly.
Check out Beale Street.
Man, and nobody corrected him, huh?
No, they did eventually. But there were several people that was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Like, they weren't saying anything. And then finally somebody's like, yeah, hey, ding dong, Beale Street's in Memphis.
You can go check it out.
You're going to Nashville, just FYI. Just thinking out loud. Just trying to help.
Oh, man. Well, I guess some people do that every once in a while. Found themselves in Memphis instead of Nashville. Or they'd have been in Nashville asking people, hey, where's Beale Street? How do I get to Beale Street?
I'm at Tampa Sports Girl. How do you get to Beale Street? Get on 40. Just keep
driving.
Going.
Keep going west.
D-Base can get you there in less than 3 hours. Everybody else, you're going to get there about 3.5.
Oh,
get there about 2.5. Go with D-Base.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Just saying. But, yeah, that was like my Liberty moment when I read that tweet. I was like, oh, boy. Really?
Oh, one of those
But,
days.
yeah, wouldn't that be great if nobody said anything and that there's a big group of Tampa fans going, what's the stuff about Beale Street? Where's all the action?
Or
we were told Beale Street. Check it out.
They get in the Uber and say, hey, matter of fact, I don't want to go to that bar. Hey, take me to Beale Street, please. That Uber driver was like, what?
That'll be $350.
Probably
cool
more than that.
Actually, you're right. It'd be more than $350.
Goodness. Talking about driving back, too? Oh, yeah, it'd be more than that.
Pay that driver's rent for the month.
Exactly. Goodness. Beale Street, man. Whew.
Hey, guys, check out Beale Street. Thanks, man. Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
First-timers, I guess. So that's the group that hasn't been to Nashville.
Yeah. Obviously, you hadn't been to Nashville
I thought everybody
ever.
had been here. Yeah, I thought everybody had been here.
Well, when they're screaming Beale Street, then you know they haven't been here.
So now we know there's still a group out there that hasn't been to Nashville.
Yep.
I wonder if they're going to leave here after this weekend. We're like, we should just move to Nashville.
Well, and then once they get here and figure out the
Beale
cost of
Street
living,
was fun.
The houses, how much they cost.
They're going to go back home. We had a blast. We loved Beale Street. We had so much fun and Tootsie's and all these great bars and restaurants on Beale Street. You mean Broadway?
Yeah.
No, I think they called it Beale Street.
No, I think. Did you see the Titans stadium? Did you see the stadium? Yeah, Beale Street. Yeah, Titans. No, you're wrong place.
The Oilers play there, right?
It was Broadway, not
Don't
Beale
the
Street.
Oilers play there? Yeah, you know where the Oilers play. Then we had fun on Beale Street.
Oh man,
saw Elvis's house.
We went to a hockey game and saw the Knights, but it was over at another arena. It wasn't at the football stadium. It was weird. And then we went to a Nashville Cats game. That was cool.
This thing going all the way back.
We sat in the hot tub at the Cats game. We had a blast. Let's move there.
Oh, man.
I'm going to get season tickets to the arena football team.
Whew. Well.
All right, we'll come back. Tim Hasselbeck. He will begin the third hour. That's next.
From Brentwood to Donaldson.
From a fantasy perspective, he is absolute gold.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free, plus a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Did you know that about 80% of new home buyers don't ever shop around for the best mortgage loan? That's a huge mistake. Hey, Willie Donick here. Listen, not all mortgages are created equal. And I'm here to prove it with Loan Pronto. People who use Loan Pronto save on average $3,500 just in closing costs. On top of that, they get a better rate, which saves them thousands more every year. Your banker or agents go to lender. They're fine people, but don't assume they're giving you the best deal. Call Loan Pronto for a quick second opinion or go to loanpronto.com. I'll bet they can get you a better loan, a lower rate, without all those annoying closing costs. What have you got to lose? You compare costs on everything else in your life. Why not do the same with your mortgage? Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Zines First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com. Harman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Harman Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville Studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
I'm bringing Hasselback.
Yeah.
Get your sexy on.
All right, we will. Hour number 3. We are. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason, now Tim Hasselback. Brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. I said yes. Timmy, watched a lot of your coverage yesterday. I know you were making your rounds on the shows. You know, I did chuckle. I watched you on NFL Live yesterday, but in the morning, get up. I mean, Ryan Clark, I thought there was a lot of Benny from the Bronx in him yesterday when talking about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, woo! A little bit of touchy subject for him, huh? He's like, nothing to see here. Let's move on, for goodness sakes.
Well, I think in fairness to RC, as we, try to analyze everything that everybody is doing this time of year, that gets kind of tired. At the same time, I'd make the argument that I'd rather analyze, Aaron Rodgers' gratitude posts rather than, talk about Deshaun Watson. So it kind of cuts both ways, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the eyeball emoji. He's like, do we have to really break down the eyeball emoji? What does that mean? It's a pretty good line. So you are you steadfast in, because I remember we had Mike Florio on, I think the next day last week after your appearance, and he said he thinks Aaron Rodgers is on the move, and I said, well, Tim Hasselback was on yesterday, and he's telling us he's staying put with the Packers. You still steadfast that he's not going anywhere?
I don't think he's going anywhere, no. Listen, a lot of people said Aaron Rodgers on the move last year. If you remember what I said last year, I feel pretty good about, my position on his situation. I think he's even harder to trade this year than he was last year. Think about it this way, Darren. Here's the deal. He needs a new contract, whether in Green Bay or somewhere else, right? We agree on that?
Yep.
Okay, so he's going to sign a deal that's going to pay him a ton of money. It's going to get spread out into the future. But he's going to make a lot of money, especially at his age. He's going to make a lot of money in the first 2 years of that contract. Yes?
Yep.
Agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. So at his age, that's fine. I think digestible for, the Packers or Broncos or whomever it may be. All right. All right. So now if you're the Green Bay Packers, all right, you have a guy that's under contract, right? So you control it, who has been better than any quarterback over the last 4 years. In fact, better than any quarterback has ever been in the history of football over the last 4 years. He's been that good. And I don't think you can argue that. His touchdown to interception ratio is 135 to 19 or something. It's insane. Okay? It's absolutely insane. All right? So he's coming off of 2 league MVPs, all of that, right? Okay, so now let's look back and see what Matthew Stafford was traded for. Matthew Stafford was traded at a time where he had never won a playoff game, okay? He was traded for 2 first-round draft picks, I believe a second.
I think it was a third. 2 first rounds and a third, I think.
Two first-rounders, a third, and Jared Goff, who at one point, so a starting quarterback, who at one, had taken a team to the Super Bowl, and at one point was a number 1 overall pick in the draft. Okay, so all right. So now we're looking for a comp of what do you have to give up to get Aaron Rodgers? So it's at least 3 first-rounders. Do we agree on that?
Well, his age is a little bit tricky, but, after what Tom Brady just did, I guess all that stuff kind of gets tossed out the window. So, yeah, probably.
He's in his 30s, and he's been the league MVP the last 2 years.
Yep.
So in terms of his age or injury history,
is
his
just a
injury
number.
history really is
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. And his age, in terms of the physical ability, seems like a non-factor. But that's fair. But that's why I'm saying 3 and not 4. Okay. So 3 first-round draft picks, okay? So if you are, the Denver Broncos, one, I don't think you have 3 first-rounders, so it would have to include some players. And then could he walk away next year? So are you doing that for him to play 1 season?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and how do you get him to tell you how long he's going to play? Because we know that's not how he operates.
No, and so part of what happens is somebody's going to lose bad.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers gets traded, now look, unless he plays 5 years and you win a Super Bowl and then the Packers get a load of picks and they're able to choose good players and all of that stuff, unless that happens, which I think we would probably both agree is unlikely that both sides of that happen, somebody loses that trade badly. I mean, they just do. And I think that's that'll be one of the hang-ups on it. I've maintained this. I think it's too hard to trade.
So with that being said, Devontae Adams. So now that you can franchise tag, transition tag, where is that going with Devontae Adams? Is this a slam dunk tag situation?
It's a slam dunk tag situation for a couple of reasons. Let's say Aaron retires tomorrow. You're still franchise tagging Devontae Adams. He's 29 years old. I think he'll be 30 during the season next year as a wide receiver. To pay him whatever that number is, $16 million or something like that.
I think it's 19. I think.
Okay, 19. Okay, so $19 million to have the best receiver in the game or one of the best receivers in the game. And as you break in a new quarterback, you're going to franchise tag him, and you'll hope to sign him to a long-term deal. But if you can't, you without a doubt are franchise tagging him. Okay, so you're doing that either way with Devontae Adams. Now, I think the tricky part for Adams is just put it in this context. Chris Godwin was just franchise tagged, okay, and he didn't lose his mind over it. But why? Think about the context of why. Well, because Tom Brady was his quarterback, so he knew he was going to have a good year, and he was 25.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's really different than being 30.
Yep. Because every year that goes by, you feel like the less chances you are of getting that big contract.
Listen, Godwin could sign 2 deals.
Yeah,
you
true.
know, right? Where he could sign the deal at 26 to 30, and then 30 to 34. And so Adams is not going to be happy about it, but I don't know how he'll handle it, but I can't imagine he's going to like it. And I think some of it maybe depends on Aaron. Like, okay, is Aaron willing to kind of work with the team, find a way to not necessarily, make less money, but do the money in a way that really helps the team. Certainly doesn't need access to it now. And then, look at the situation with, Devontae and figure out how that can work. And then they're going to have to make tough decisions on other players and have to, beat the market at other positions. But ultimately, I think that's what they try to do, especially if Aaron now has a good relationship with them and is trying to work it out.
Now, we were kind of a house divided yesterday on this topic. I'm standing pat on TB12's done. Like, he's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, as the former player, he's like, he's not all in, but he's like, I'm not ruling it out. I think Willie was more lukewarm, more probably if he had to pick a side was more on Derek's side. But I don't feel like he's coming back, and I know that stuff is starting to get floated out there and blah, blah, blah. So where do you think the Tom Brady thing is? Do you think he's playing again?
Done.
Okay, so we're in agreement.
He's done. And I think the decision to retire was way more about life and family and how you spend your time, at 45 years old or whatever he is, like
45,
than anything else. Listen, if you're 45, not to be morbid, but you've probably lived half of your life. You know what I mean? Like there's an element and in terms of the things that you can enjoy, it just it changes. Like I think that hit him finally, and look, I don't blame him, and I think it's great, and I think that this idea that retirement's going to be hard for him, like I don't think it will be. I think there's going to be so many fun opportunities for him that I don't think it's going to be a hard retirement.
Did you hear that, D-Base? Did you hear what Tim just said?
I've never said retirement and opportunities were not going to be there. They're going to be there. They're there for a lot of players when they retire, if they've been smart. But what's not there is the competitive nature. You can't get it anywhere else. You just can't. And he's a competitive guy. So that's why I say I'm not 100% sold on him, but I'm not 50-50 either.
Look, he got to scratch that competitive itch for 22 years. Most people don't even come close to that. So.
Hey, if he had left the game and he was playing at a subpar level, then okay, I get it. But this guy was arguably a top 3 quarterback. No, it wasn't you couldn't argue it. The numbers said he was a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. That alone tells me the guy can still do it. As much as I dislike him because he's a Michigan guy, I respect the hell out of him because he's doing it at an age that many just couldn't. Here's what I'd say though. One, I think because he did it for so long, I think that does matter and make a difference rather than walking away at 38 and being like, man, like what am I doing? Two, like I think there's going to be, and it's not going to be the same as being in a locker room, and it's not going to be in the same, competitiveness. But like, as he tries to like build TB12 brand, and as he does that stuff, like that's going to be exciting to him, I believe. And I think there's going to be other, avenues that he can pursue that will end up being fun for him. And I'm sure that there'll be, things that they want to create, whether, like the golf stuff that we've seen them do, guys do in the past. Like they'll do that stuff. And look, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same, but I think he's going to enjoy it because he spent,
so many years of his life being controlled by the NFL schedule. Like, he's not controlled by it anymore. Like, why do you think Peyton and Eli do like a 10-game set of Monday Night Football? Because they don't want to be completely controlled by the NFL schedule. They're like, listen, like we'll give you 10. We're not going to do 17. Like, we'll give you 10 because, like, we also, want other freedoms in our lives. And listen, like, D. Mace, like Brady's different than me or D. Mace. And D. Mace different than me, but D. Mace, he was competing to, like, have his shirt off while he cut his grass in the neighborhood. Okay? Like, that's what he was doing, right? Brady's doing a different deal than us.
By the way, that was House 12 for Derek, so that's kind of way in the past. He just moved into House 17, so that was in the past. More with Tim Hasselbeck on the other side. In fact, D-Mace will come with some hard-hitting questions on the other side. Tim Hasselbeck every week, brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. We'll be back.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robbie and Rexroad. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
The 2022 SEC Women's Basketball Tournament is back in Nashville as Bridgestone Arena hosts the annual celebration of SEC's Women's Hoops March 2nd through the 6th. Join us and experience the bright lights of the Music City as we crown a champion. Tickets are on sale now, so contact your university ticket office or head to secsports.com. SEC Women's Basketball. It just means more.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money. Easy to learn, easy to use, small business software tailored just for you. With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I want to talk to you about my friends at Creation CBD. You hear me talk about them every single day because they present Darren, Donick, and Chase, and we are proud to be associated with them and happy about it. And if you have aches and pains, on your body, whether it's from working out, being active, getting older, and you're looking for a solution, well, I've got it. Creation CBD. Creation means healing, and that says a lot. Creation is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here in Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sale, Creation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use, including your pets. And you've heard me tell this story. Our female German Shepherd has had seizures for over 3 years, and lots of them. No matter how many pills a day she was on, the vet visits, nothing changed. But since putting her on the pet tincture, everything has changed. The seizures have stopped, she's lost weight, and she's a dog again. Right now, Creation CBD has got a special offer for DDC listeners. Go to CreationCompany.com, get 25% off your order by using the code DDC25 at checkout. DDC25 at checkout for 25% off your Creation CBD products. It's Creation CBD, curated for life.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house. country, techno, or techno country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back at you. Darren, Donick, Chase, and D-Mace. And we're talking to Tim Hasselback, ESPN analyst. Tim, obviously, when the season ended, a lot of talk was about Rodgers and a few other quarterbacks, Wilson, Carr. But it seems like a lot of it has honed in now on Rodgers. Does that mean that Wilson will stay put in Seattle?
There's a chance he does. And, I was on, TV yesterday talking a lot about Russell Wilson. And, I said that, I think he could be gone. Here's just what I think about the Seattle situation. I think that he's made it clear that he doesn't want to play there, but he's done it in a way that's been delicate enough that, he doesn't look like the bad guy trying to get out. And, because quite honestly, it's Seattle and it's covered differently than if he played for the Jets or the Giants or the Bears or somebody like that or the Cowboys. I think that it's made just a little bit of a ripple, not a big wave. And I think for Seattle, I think the team's kind of tired of it, truthfully. I think that there are people there that, are frustrated with kind of how he is with certain people and lack of connection to certain teammates. And so I think that's a problem for many of them. Now, saying all of that, he's a good football player, and it's hard to find, good football players at the quarterback position. So, look, they're not just going to trade him and, not have an answer, especially playing in a division that's tough and you're going to face good quarterbacks. But I think they would like to move him. I think and I know they've been willing to move him in the past. They just want to be protected with who they replace him with. And I think there's going to be enough quarterback movement that there's a chance that it could end up working out where, he's on the move, he's going somewhere. And, for him, and I think some of the things he's trying to accomplish outside of playing football, maybe put him closer to the East Coast, put him in a better market than Seattle.
Now, speaking of that, another quarterback went. Obviously, Irsay and Ballard, pretty much, they've said, this guy, he's not our guy. We want to move on from him. It seems like they're pushing all their chips in the middle of the table to try to get a quarterback. Do you think they try to get a Wilson or a Carr, or do you think they will just go into the draft and try to move up in the draft and pick a guy in the first 10, 15 picks?
Yeah, if I were Indianapolis, I would definitely be interested in Russell Wilson. Could you imagine him in an offense that had, that offensive line, that run game, and a championship caliber defense, in my opinion. So
this market will go crazy, Tim. I'm just telling you, it'll go crazy if that happens.
You're saying this market will go crazy if that happens?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, well, I get it. And I'm not saying it would be easy for Indianapolis, but I would make them a better team. There's no doubt about that. And, I think when, in terms of the Carson Wentz situation, look, I think that, and I agree with Derek, that it seems like either they were just trying to get somebody to basically alert everybody like, hey, we're trying to unload him, so we'll swallow some of the contract if you take some of it, and and you'll get a guy that started a bunch of games and has played well at certain points in his career. I mean, I think that's what Indy was doing. But let's say Indy ends up cutting him, which I think could happen. If Indy ends up cutting him, I could see him ending up in Carolina. Because Carolina, like on a standard backup deal, almost in a way of like, Ryan Tannehill coming to Tennessee when Marcus Mariota was the starter. Like, hey, you go in as the backup, but there's kind of like this understanding of, hey, we think the starter may fail, and if he does, you get an opportunity to prove you can play.
Now, speaking of Tannehill, obviously once the season ended, everybody piled on him and whatnot. It was just, pick a day, pick a time, and ask anybody about him, and they were throwing darts at him. Now that the season has settled, and we're 2 weeks removed from the Super Bowl, what are your thoughts now? Have they changed on Tannehill, or are they pretty much the same?
Here's what I would say. I wasn't, part of the crowd that was all over him. But I think your assessment, Derek, is spot on. Like, I, in some ways, was shocked at just casual fans and their feelings on him. I mean, like, you would have thought, like, they were talking. I mean, it was the way people talked about Mark Sanchez with the Jets. Like people were angry at him. I just, and, he didn't have an amazing year, but, I think, we also need to take a step back and be like, but let's not lose sight of the fact that, the reason Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year, or at least one of the reasons, was because the team was a 1 seed with having to play so many players. Well, you know who that affects as well? The quarterback. So I do think there's an element of, what Ryan Tannehill did all season long with, receivers out of the lineup, with the star running back that everything was built around out of the lineup, with an offensive line that was not a good pass-blocking offensive line. I think in fairness to Ryan, he put together a pretty solid year and I think managed a lot of their issues extremely well. And so, I think there was an overreaction on him. And I think, unfortunately, I think he experienced that. And I'm not sure that, the dust settling and calmer heads prevailing, I don't know that there's a sense of that yet, here around him. And now all of a sudden there's, hey, Aaron Rodgers is, building a house out in Franklin and he's going to, take over for the Titans. That's the talk right now, which, is not happening.
By the way, I was told Zach Ertz just bought a house in Nashville. Does that mean he is UFA, so does that mean he's going to be the next tight end for the Titans?
You know who lives in Nashville?
A lot of people.
You?
Everyone.
Hey, Tim, are you going to build a house in what we call Quarterback's Gate now?
Oh, yeah. We've been talking about this.
All these quarterbacks moving here and these players are moving
That'll be
here.
House 19 for D-Mace.
Yeah. I said I'm not that rich to move in Quarterback's Gate.
It's going to be gated because they need, you need security, right? They're used to being protected.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I'm comfortable where I am. I'm comfortable where I am.
I will say that
working out. Hey, I've seen D-Mace working out in the neighborhood. I'm not gonna leave. I can see D-Mace torturing himself, pounding the pavement. Man.
Well, he couldn't realize, he couldn't figure out why all of his neighbors kept selling their houses, because they knew when they were bringing people over and D-Mace is out there sweating, he doesn't have a shirt on, mowing, that their house value was going to go up. So they knew, we need to sell now. They would find out when he's mowing. They would have an open house, and boom, the house is gone. They made $50,000 above asking, and everybody was just moving away from D-Mace because it was a money grab.
Let's go. Hey, listen, now the Titans are going to get a new stadium. You know what I think behind that, by the way? I don't think there's any coincidence. You can clip this off. Be prepared to clip this off. I don't think there was any coincidence that last week when I was on, Chase was not available. He's at a meeting, okay, probably wearing a suit. And I think literally maybe an hour later, it was announced that the Titans may be renovating their stadium. Like, I'm just saying, like, some people get stuff done, or in this city. It clearly Chase is that guy.
Well, wait a minute. We're not talking about renovating, so let's end on that. That's the thing. That's the wrong thing to do. Now they're going down the right path. So you tell us, because you're in different circles. You get to be in the Bristol circles and the NFL crowd. If the Titans do what they should do and absolutely should do, and I think they're going to, and that is build a new home, which it's either going to be retractable roof or the new thing, right? The glass dome or whatever. Yep. Not your traditional old dome like the Pontiac. Like, those domes are gone. But, the domes today are much different, like Vegas and Minneapolis.
Like spaceship that landed in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl just played?
Yes, like that.
Yes. Okay.
What will it do for this market for, events that you're going to be excited to be covering, like Super Bowl and everything that could possibly come here? College football national championship game, or at least a playoff game. I mean, what would it do for this market?
Listen, people are coming here now, right? People are already coming here now for, events and experiences. Like, yeah, I mean, it would. And I think the NFL has kind of created a standard. Look, they played a Super Bowl outside in New York, okay? Yep. And I guess it would have been February. So, it seems like you're going to get a Super Bowl if you build a new stadium. And I think that, to your point about the retractable roof and all of that stuff, like, then at that point, like, you maybe end up in the rotation. Not just, okay, we'll give you a Super Bowl if you
right, it's not a one-off, right. Exactly. That's exactly right. And it's not a one-off. It's a, hey, you are now in the rotation.
Yeah, now that's a big deal. Look, I was just in Arizona, over the long weekend, and, they just had the waste management tour. And, obviously there was a lot of excitement around that. And, next year the Super Bowl is there, and funny thing is some people were already talking about how next year it's going to be waste management followed by the very next weekend, the Super Bowl out there. Like, that's, they're
pretty
already
amazing.
Talking about that because they're in the rotation. Yeah.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, Tim, really appreciate it. Thanks as always. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll do it again next week.
Cool. See you guys.
Yep.
Tim Hasselbeck, every Wednesday on the program. Love the talks, chats with him, brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. We'll continue on the other side here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Thursday at 1 on Darren, Donick, and Chase, we're joined by Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman for the best inside knowledge on the NHL. It's all brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. Rated #1 for reliability in the under 100 horsepower category, they're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $1,100. Now through February 28th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Come see why Coleman Tractor Company is one of the largest Kubota dealers in Middle Tennessee, Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and their new location in White House.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Ford. Can you feel that? Love is in the air. Maybe it's love for your significant other. Maybe it's love for Rome, your Bernese mountain dog. Maybe it's just love for chocolate. Wherever that love falls, this is the time to take it all in. But maybe take less of the chocolate in. So now that all the mushy stuff is out of the way, I'm going to tell you what we love. We love to help you. We love helping you find a new car when you need one. We love helping you keep your car running smooth with amazing service. We love partnering with you in the community to make a positive impact. Newton loves to help. We have a great selection of pre-loved vehicles on the lot for you right now. You can shop online and even start working your deal right now from your phone with Newton FastPass. Visit NewtonFord.com to shop or schedule service today. For the love of chocolate, see website for details.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The second half of the NBA season is here, and you can turn every Thursday into paydays with the NBA on TNT on FanDuel Sportsbook. It doesn't matter win or lose, FanDuel is giving all customers $10 back every Thursday in site credit. Just bet $10 or more on a same-game parlay on any NBA on TNT game. Same-game parlays let you combine the money line, point spread, player props, and more all into one wager. You can root for your favorite players, and you've got the chance to put a small bet down and win big. It's the perfect way, again, to turn a small bet into a big-time score. And win or lose, you're going to get $10 added to your account. FanDuel Sportsbook is easy to use, easy to register, easy to deposit, and easy to find your bet. And they've got live betting, so get right in the middle of a game. Get $10 back every Thursday, win or lose with TNT Thursdays. If you're new to FanDuel, use promo code JGM and make every moment more this NBA season. Promo code JGM. 21 and older in present Tennessee. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable side credit expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
When experience matters, trust Houston Clinic Orthopedics. If you have painful joints, arthroscopic surgery may be the cure to solve your pain. Arthroscopic surgery is minimally invasive and provides faster recovery time. The experienced doctors at Houston Clinic Orthopedics may be able to get you feeling back to normal with an arthroscopic surgery of your knee, shoulder, hip, elbow, wrist, or ankle. Each of the 10 locations in Middle Tennessee has an arthroscopic surgeon that can determine if this type of surgery is the best option for you. Visit tn.houston.com to learn more and to book an appointment. Houston Clinic Orthopedics. When experience matters.
Mark Howard here to tell you about my friends at Apple Collision Centers. We all know being in a collision is not fun. Neither is all the stress that comes with it, and that's where Apple Collision comes in. Let them take care of everything for you. That's insurance, repair, and your rental details. They've got 3 convenient locations in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Their managers, Tommy Rippey, Daniel Neville, and Marty Denson, combined for over 75 years experience. So stop in today and tell them Mark sent you. Online at AppleCollisionCenters.com.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, Nashville's premier mobile tire company. Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Rick Stockstill, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Thank you, Coach Stock. Don't forget, here at ESPN 102.5 The Game, we are the official home of NASCAR. Tune in Sunday, vroom, vroom, 1:30, Wise Power 400 at the Auto Club Speedway. Don't forget, Chasing Checkers is every Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
Chasing Checkers.
Some guy named Chase does Chasing Checkers. So
Charles.
Charles, table of 4. Charles McCabe, table of 4.
I'm sorry, Chase. I opened the door again on that. I'm sorry.
I knew he was in a meeting because I wasn't getting blown up by text in the first segment.
Hey, he came in here. He was clean cut, too, man. It's looking good. Yeah, he was looking good, man. I thought he was getting ready to go on a date or something.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know with Maccababe, you know.
No tie either. No tie. He's playing in the middle.
He was looking like Maccababe today, boy.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. He passes out cards, and it just says suit. That's all it says. Holla.
That's my guy, man.
It just says suit, and then it goes holla. Watch him. He just goes around handing those out.
It reminds me of this show that I'm watching, Miss Maisel, on Prime, and her agent just passes out cards that she typed up herself. She just passes them out. Call me if you ever need me. Oh, man.
I just saw where Lindenwood has announced they are joining the OVC. So if I've got this correct, Arkansas Little Rock is coming to the OVC. Lindenwood is coming to the OVC, and Southern Indiana is coming to the OVC. So that's 3 in, the 3 out.
All sports?
So, yeah. I think. I don't know. I don't know that because some of them don't play football.
Exactly.
I don't know. I know Arkansas Little Rock does.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Lindenwood in southern Indiana. But leaving, we know, is Belmont, Murray State, and Austin Peay.
Mm-hmm.
Which Belmont and Murray State are going to stay in the same conference, which was good. But Loyola Chicago's leaving that conference, which was kind of a shame because that was – if Loyola Chicago had stayed in there, Elijah, would that not have been – that would have been a really good basketball conference.
I would have passed out. We get those three teams to play each other twice a year.
Oh, my gosh. You would have passed out?
Oh, it's a mid-major mega conference. I live for it.
Man.
Mid-major mega conference.
We're talking like 4-bid Missouri Valley every year. That's art. It's beauty.
There you go. Man. Passing out. Wow.
Now that's serious stuff.
Yeah, that is. That's like, man.
It's an overload of beautiful basketball.
Yes. There you go.
When Tim said Russell Wilson to Indy, I'm just saying, if that happens, like I'm just bracing it, like this market will go bonkers.
Well, I said that, 2 weeks ago, that no matter what it would take to get Russell Wilson, because the fans are not going to see what it took to get him. And you're right. It's going to take, and right now, Indianapolis, I think once the new league year starts, they're going to have the 8th most money under the cap in the National Football League.
It's top 10. It's like $37 million or something.
Yeah, so if that indeed happens, they can afford to pay a little bit more to get the quarterback that they want.
And pay the other one to go away.
Exactly. And the fans are not going to look at what Indy had to give up. They're just going to look at that Indy got Russell Wilson. And why didn't the Titans push their chips in the middle of the table and try to get him as well? Well, the scenario is a lot different. One, Irsay and Ballard has already said, hey, come back to the facility, pretty much pack your bags, because you're going to be going somewhere else. Put a for sale sign on your house, because you're headed somewhere else. Take your kids out of school. You're headed somewhere else. Well, John Robinson and Vrabel, they haven't said that. That's not the consensus here. They're on the flip side. They're like, listen, he's our quarterback. He's the guy.
They've dug in.
Yeah, they have cemented their feet in the ground for him this year. He is our guy. That's the difference. One side says, we don't want this guy no more. We want someone else. And and on the other side of the coin, the other team is saying, this is our guy. We don't want nobody else. We're not giving up capital to get anyone else. We can win and get where we want to get with this guy that we have underneath center right now. We just got to add players around him. That's all. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference. But you're right. The fans are going to go crazy. They are going, and don't let Indianapolis, end up winning the conference if indeed they get Wilson. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a free fall.
Oh, I'm just telling you. I'm not saying it's going to happen because it seems like everything I see and hear, read, seems to be the dots are connected in the state of Pennsylvania, either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. That's what I've been seeing.
Where Wilson would head if indeed he does leave. Yeah,
but it seems like there seems to be Russell Wilson chatter every day, which tells me something's going on.
But it's not as loud as Aaron Rodgers. It seems like it's dimmed a little bit.
Talking.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the difference. He's posting on social media. He's talking on Pat McAfee's show every Tuesday. Russell Wilson, what's he saying? What's he doing?
Nothing.
Right. Okay, so that's the difference.
They're taking two different approaches.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's only one of them I believe ultimately only one of them are going to leave their team. And it seems more and more likely that it'd be Wilson and not Rodgers.
Neely on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, he was responding to our conversation at the end of the last hour. Neely said on the text line, I had some friends in town from Boston, and after they left Broadway, they went back to their hotel at like 3 in the morning, and they wanted to get Taco Bell by their hotel. But they wouldn't let them walk through the drive-thru. So they called an Uber. When the Uber driver showed up, he was like, where are you going? They said, right here. And he had the Uber driver take them through the drive-thru. What did they have to pay for that? Like, what are they charging?
I hope they would have been generous and gave him a little bit, a lot more.
Yeah, right, and 5-star rating.
Exactly, 5-star rating and everything. Because I would have been like, are y'all serious? Are y'all really serious? Y'all need to buy me some Taco Bell for one, and y'all need to give me some extra money. Each one of y'all.
Agreed.
Goodness. They were hungry.
I thought you had to put in your destination.
Yeah, me too. I guess.
Right? You just can't just call an Uber driver and be like, hey, what's up? Come get me. I thought you had to put in where you're going.
What they probably did was put the destination back to their hotel.
Yeah.
But then say, hey, we're going here. Can we go here first and then go? That's what they probably did.
Josh on our text line says, without looking it up, I believe the Titans have never lost to Russell Wilson, and the price tag is going to be Gucci price instead of a Walmart price. Let Indy pay it. I think that would be a huge mistake to feel that way. Russell Wilson instantly makes Indianapolis a big-time favorite in the AFC. And they would be the favorite to win the AFC South.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. They would. Period.
But I don't think the Titans.
Yeah, he comes with a hefty price, but, you're getting Russell Wilson.
Does the Titans have enough capital to do that?
No.
That's the deal.
Yep. Back to wrap up the third hour next.
Want the latest on the Predators from the people that cover them?
Heck of a year so far for the Predators. They've been so much fun to watch.
Join Robbie Stanley for Preds Insiders every Monday at 6.
I feel probably as good about this group of 6 on D.
Presented by Dr. Kelly Rice on Smashville's Best Sports Talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Think back to a time when you've had to contend with a difficult challenge in your life, but that, in the end, came out okay. I'm willing to bet that in almost all those cases, you had someone alongside you that you trusted, whether the challenge related to a career change, a health crisis, or even the death of a loved one. But if the challenge is divorce, and you're a guy, there's a good chance that your trusted friend for all life's challenges to date has been your spouse, whom the legal system now terms the opposing party. This is why guys notoriously are prone to feeling isolated and alone during the divorce process. The good news is you don't have to go through this alone. Let Cordell and Cordell be the partner that you can count on through the challenges of divorce. Call us at 866-DADS-LAW or visit CordellCordell.com. You are not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's Nashville area attorneys. 866-DADS-LAW, 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067. CordellCordell.com.
What if I told you there was a breakthrough technology for treating erectile dysfunction that can eliminate ED? This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and I'm not going to tell you that. Because despite what some groups claim in their ads, the truth is, there is no such thing. What they're talking about is acoustic wave therapy, and it's been used to treat ED for many years. In fact, we've used it in our practice since 2018. And while wave therapy is useful for some ED cases, it's not a miracle cure. And you could spend a lot of money with those other groups finding that out. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we offer many ED treatments, including wave therapy. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that have success rates as high as 90% and will find the right treatment for you. You could even have great sex the day after your appointment. So don't be fooled. Call us today and get the right treatment for you. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
In a world where a single touch can threaten the surfaces of your home, there's Microban 24. Just one spray fights bacteria all day.
Bacteria incoming. Shields up, defenders.
When used as directed, Microban 24 sanitizing spray forms a defensive shield that keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch.
Threat eliminated.
Microban 24. Don't just sanitize it, microban it. Now spraying in a store near you.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I don't know if you've heard, but the Predators will be playing at Nissan Stadium on Saturday night against the Lightning. Yeah, that's true. Plus, Miranda Lambert and Dierks Bentley are going to perform. Yeah, that's all going to happen this Saturday night. If you want to be there with the party, you don't want to miss out on this. Visit NHL.com/Stadium Series for more details to purchase tickets. Back here on the DDC, Darren, Donick, Chase, and D-Mace. Our show is presented by Creation CBD products, curated for life. On our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, D-Mace. Let's see. No name. I don't see a name. No name. No name says, you don't need a destination. My source, former Uber driver. You do. Did I say you do or you don't? You do need a destination. So, sorry.
Yeah.
You do need a destination. His source or their source, former Uber driver. So you do. So how did that work?
I'll guarantee you they put their hotel they
Yeah,
were
I think
staying
you're right.
in and then say, hey, can we stop here before we go to the hotel?
Yeah.
And they probably said, he probably was like, okay. But I still would have made them buy me some Taco Bell.
I would like to end the
Even
to
though
hear
I don't
the end
like
of that
Taco,
story.
even though I'm not a Taco Bell eater, a consumer of Taco Bell.
Yeah, well, you are at 3 a.m. when you're looking for something to eat.
You was hungry.
Oh, you've been out all night on Broadway. Taco Bell. I mean, the meat truck on the side of the road. I mean, you're going to take whatever.
I
know
go
you're
home.
not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go home and grab me a slice of bread or something.
Slice of bread.
Maybe some toast or something.
Get yourself a gyro.
Yeah.
Or is it a gyro?
Gyro, euro.
I think
it's a euro.
I think it's a gyro, but people
yeah.
say gyro.
Yeah.
I think it's gyro.
Sliced bread.
I like them.
Sliced
Thank
bread.
you.
I take sliced bread too.
Thank you.
Wheat
Sliced bread from what was the website or the
Bro Bible.
Bro Bible.
Bro Bible.
Bro Bible.
Yeah.
Sliced bread. Doug on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. What's up?
Hey guys, hear me out and correct me if I'm wrong, but you hear all these big wanting to make changes, new quarterback, and just my theory is you want a Final Four in anything. The Titans' Final Four came up a little short. Now these teams like Indianapolis that didn't get a sniff, I get you throwing the kitchen sink to go get somebody to make you better. But to throw the kitchen sink for quarterback position for a team that Final Four, I just don't get it. When Denver was garbage, didn't make the playoffs, you throw the kitchen sink at Manning, you do something, then you're nothing. Indianapolis, nothing. I get it, but make me understand, fellas, am I looking at it wrong? Because the Titans are not that far off. They were in the mention of top teams. So why do something drastic at one position when you could probably do something good at two or three others and then get on over the hump? Am I looking at it?
Well, hold on, Doug. Don't go anywhere because it's truly how you feel, and it's how they feel. So, you personally, since you're bringing it up, it sounds like you're not. You feel like you could win with Ryan Tannehill. He can get you to the promised land, and that's how the Titans have to approach
he's
it.
Not good enough, or maybe he got you Final Four, but maybe a little something somewhere else. Wide receivers, DBs, and then that gets you over the hump because you wasn't miraculous on the wide receiver side.
And let me just say this real quick, D-Mace, and then I want you to jump in there. I'm a little sensitive. I'm not sensitive. It's just I don't know if that's the right word or not, but I've played this game for so long in this market. Like, it's the always, if we give him every weapon in the world, we think he's going to turn into something else. That's just not how it works.
There's no magic dust out there, but
There isn't. Like Mariota and Jay Clocker and Vince Young, all that stuff we try. If he just had better receivers, if he just had better weapons, if the offensive line was just better, it's like if everything is Hall of Fame around them, they'll be elite. That's not how it works.
90% of the league got nowhere near where the Titans got.
True. Then you're saying you're fine with it then, and that's okay. If you're fine with Tannehill.
What the goal is to be in the mention. And when you Final Four, I'm referencing basketball. You're in the deal. You're there.
Right, but you're calling in to tell us you're there when the last 2 years you haven't won a playoff game with that quarterback at home. You've been one and done in the playoffs at home, but yet you're telling us he's the guy that can get you there. And you understand why people would push back on that.
I understand, but when you look at how far you got, there were 90% of the league didn't get there. But and I can be changed, so you guys either keep me on the ledge, talk me off the ledge.
You're right from the perspective of
the goal perspective.
Yeah, you're right from that. Okay, listen, there were 20-some other teams that didn't make it as far as the Titans, and you're absolutely right. There were some teams on the fringe. If the ball bounced this way or that way, then yes, they get into the playoffs and they make it first. We understand. Indy was one of those teams. They just had to win at the end of the season, and they're in the playoffs. They couldn't do it. For whatever reason, they couldn't do it. Well, their reason they thought was Wentz. They're getting rid of him. They're done. They're moving on.
Yeah.
The Titans situation, I feel they can win with Ryan. Can they get to the Super Bowl? I think they're in the same situation that the L.A. Rams were in with Jared Goff. Yes, we can win with him. Yes, we can probably, if things bounce right, yes, we can probably get to the Super Bowl with them. But we don't think. But in order to win the Super Bowl, we have to add things around him.
Kansas City, Alex Smith, same thing.
Yeah. We got to add a bunch of things around him in order to win. And I think that's the approach that the Tennessee Titans are taking.
Well, my question to you guys is, when you say a bunch, again, you Final Four, do you need a bunch to a bunch of help, or do you need just a little bit?
Now you need to upgrade. You need to upgrade the offensive line. You got to upgrade the secondary. You got to upgrade the wide receiver and the tight end position. In the big picture, it doesn't look like a lot, but that is a lot.
Yep. And if you throw the money in, it changes the game for guys that may not be here anymore.
Yep. No doubt. Doug, thank you so much for the call as always. Look, the difference is it's just harder. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't win. But it's just harder. Like Joe Burrow is an example. If Joe Burrow wasn't the quarterback that he is, Cincinnati is nowhere near the Super Bowl. They're not in the playoffs because he got sacked 70 times. 70 times. We have been using the David Carr reference for a long time. He got sacked 76, and he's been the NFL standard for guy who got crushed and basically killed his NFL career in a season. He got sacked 76 times. Joe Burrow got sacked 70. If Joe Burrow wasn't the quarterback that he was, Cincinnati doesn't even come close to sniffing the playoffs. They went to the Super Bowl and almost won it. It's just a lot harder. That's all. If you don't have that guy, it's just a whole lot harder. You have to keep having everything go your way. It's just harder. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just a lot harder. The mountain is much steeper to climb. The same way that Kansas City had Alex Smith, and he was just fine too. Alex Smith and Ryan Tannehill, I think, are two really good comparisons. But Kansas City decided to go up from 27 to 10 in the draft and pay the price and get Patrick Mahomes, even though they had Alex Smith. I think they would say, everybody would say today, well, they're pretty smart. That was a great move. Who would question that? Answer, no one. No one would question that move today, right? It was the right thing. They said, you know what? He's good, but we can do better. And that's what Kansas City did, and it's paid off. All right, we'll come back. Final hour. We're bringing Robbie Stanley from our morning show. We'll do that next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as the Nashville Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning this Saturday night. Puck drops at 6:30, but the party starts at 6 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Your home value is way up. You can use that money now to pay off credit cards or remodel your house, or both. Hey, Willie Donner for Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto can convert that home equity into cash as little as 2 weeks from now with no cost to you and zero hassle. Mike and Joan in Brentwood called Loan Pronto and they did a Loan Pronto zero cost cash out refi. They got a check for $100,000. They used $50,000 to pay off all of their credit cards and a car loan. Use the other $50K to upgrade their master bath and kitchen. They locked in a new APR in the 2s and lowered their total monthly bills by hundreds of dollars. Hello? What are you waiting on? Call Loan Pronto now and convert your home value into cash. Put that money to good use. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or lowpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
1025 The Game.
And Derek Mason. Final hour. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason, Elijah Campbell, Hillside Medical Game Studios. Wayne tweets at us between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., Monday through Friday, and it's a GIF of the show The Office, and they're chanting, no more meetings, no more meetings, no more meetings. Well done, Wayne. Well done. You can also hear this guy leading up to our show every day, Monday through Friday, and he's all in favor of no more meetings, no more meetings, because I think they were having a meeting with the suit when we were having a lot of fun at the suit's expense in the first 15 minutes of the show. He has since heard about all that. He's Robbie Stanley. Robbie, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, boys. How are y'all?
Was Chase's phone blowing up in the meeting after your show today?
Chase's phone was blowing up in the meeting, and when I got out of the meeting, I knew why it was blowing up, which made it 1,000 times better than it was in the meeting.
Boy, did we have fun in the first 15 minutes.
I bet you did.
It was a lot of fun. So let me just Let me just ask you this. It's the topic that we've all talked about since everything ended in Cincinnati, just because we've been talking about it here to wrap up the last hour. Do you think John Robinson will be kicking tires on someone better than Ryan Tannehill, or do you believe them? Do you believe the organization? Do you believe Mike Vrabel? Do you believe John Robinson? Like, he's our guy, dang it, and stop asking those questions. This is our guy. This is the guy we're going to battle with. What do you think really is going on behind the scenes?
I believe him. I think that Ryan Tannehill is their guy, and part of the reason I say that is, like you say, kicking the tires on people better than Ryan Tannehill. Well, I don't really know who that's going to be. Like, first off, far be it from me to try to figure out what's going on in Aaron Rodgers' head, because that can be a difficult place to reside at times. But my gut still tells me he's probably coming back to the Packers. I think Russell Wilson's probably going back to the Seahawks. So if it's not going to be one of those two guys, like, I don't know who that option is that's out there that's realistic, that is absolutely better than him. Now, I will say, I do think the Titans are going to be doing their due diligence and looking at these quarterbacks in the draft. And if they find somebody that they just love, I think there's a chance they could draft a quarterback in the first round. I don't know if that means that quarterback would play immediately. I think there's a chance that happens. I think that's far more likely than John Robinson kicking the tires on a quarterback that's already in the league. That's just my guess.
Okay.
That's my feelings on the matter.
I was reading during the break, SI.com put this out, that Bruce Arians is not dismissing Blaine Gabbert being the starting quarterback in Tampa in 2022. I would tell Bruce, get his resume updated.
Yes.
Or get prepared for his retirement speech, because he'll be retiring after this season. I'm not talking about Blaine Gabbert. I'm talking about Bruce Arians. Good luck with that.
They had a great quote that went along with that, too. He's like, yeah, people get all over Blaine Gabbert about his record, but he's never played for a good team. And I was like, yeah, Bruce, don't you think he probably has something to do with that, not playing for a good team?
Yeah, they have something to do with that. Yeah.
Well, if he resurrects Blaine Gabbert's career,
he should get a lifetime contract.
He goes down as the greatest coach of all time to me.
If Tampa wins the Super Bowl with Blaine Gabbert, they get Bruce Arians gets a statue.
Exactly.
Like, the minute the Super Bowl is over, they start working on the statue for Bruce Arians. But I'm going to just go out on a real small limb here. That's not happening. If they're rolling with Blaine Gabbert, good luck.
You might as well suit Leftwich back up.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, exactly. I think actually Byron could do better.
Exactly.
That's just my opinion.
You
we'll come back to
from
this.
Tom Brady to Blaine Gabbert, that's got to suck.
I mean, that is like driving the top-end Porsche and, no offense, but, saying, you know what, I think I'm going to downsize, and coming home with the Kia. Like, once again, I'm not trying to, disparage
Kias are cool cars.
I know, but you're going from the top of the line Porsche to the, Kia. Like, come on, man. That's
the basic model Kia.
Yeah,
roll
down windows.
I'd probably call it more like Fred Flintstone's car, but yeah, Kia works too.
Okay, Fred Flintstone's car. Either way, it's going to be a lot of work, and you're not going to get very good results. I told you, Robbie, to think about this, because the Pecorine luncheon has been going on, and it's a huge week for him. And so he's getting a lot of standing ovations today at his luncheon. He's going to, tomorrow night is going to be an unbelievable night for him. And it got me thinking, and I just kind of blurted it out Tuesday in pregame. Top 5, and I didn't go top 5, so I've extended it with you. We all know, we all can agree, like, nobody today is going to, I think, push back that Pecorine is the most popular Predators player ever.
Correct.
But what I want to know from you is who's 2 through 5, in your opinion? Most popular Predators player of all time, 2 through 5.
This is, I got to thinking about this. I think this is a really interesting discussion. And, what stands out to me, most popular player doesn't necessarily mean best player. Even though you can make an argument in Pecorine's case that it does. My thoughts on this are 5 guys that came to mind pretty easily for me.
Okay.
And I think you could probably debate the order. I would still put Shea Weber at number 2. I think it's getting real close to being the other guy I'm about to say, but I would put Shea Weber at number 2. I would put Roman Josi at number 3. I would put Jordan Tutu at number 4. and Victor Arvidsson number 5. Those are my top 5.
Okay. Interesting. So we have one difference.
Okay.
But when I say that, I was probably projecting out too, which may be cheating on this. So I went Pekka 1, obviously. Shea 2. I don't think there's today. There's no disputing Shea Weber is 2. But I think Roman Josi.
Close, but yeah.
Roman Josi, when it's all said and done, that's going to be a really interesting discussion, because if you believe that there is a chance anybody could unseat Pekka, wouldn't you say if Roman played his whole entire career here, that could be the case?
I'd say there's a chance for sure, yes.
Yeah, a chance, right? So I had Roman 3. I had Jordan 2-4, Philip Forsberg 5, with the caveat if Philip Forsberg re-ups here and plays a long time here the rest of the way, Philip Forsberg is going to shoot up the charts. Again, almost projecting out, which may be cheating, but if he were to re-sign here and basically play his entire career here, Forsberg is going to move way up the charts too.
Well, look, I think he's close to being there anyway. I went with Arvidsson because I think for about a 2 or 3 year stretch, the RV chance and whatever, but I think just the way that he played, people around here loved, was just how hard he played. He's a small guy, all these things. So I think he really resonated with the fan base. So I gave him the slight edge, but I can't argue much with Forsberg. I think he's close to being there. I think you're right. If he resigns and continues to be productive, it won't be really close at that point.
Yeah, no doubt. So, and by the way, for people listening, it's not the most talent. It's not the best players. I said the most popular. And if you've been here in the last 5 years, you're going to be like, huh? Jordan 2-2, what? What are you talking about? Well, if you weren't here, you wouldn't understand that, and I understand that. But if you were here, you would understand why, because Jordan 2-2 was extremely popular when he was here. Extremely popular. I know. I did at the end, the final year, I did his radio show, and I hosted his radio show, and it was at Blackstone, a Blackstone brewery, rest in peace. It was another great establishment that was in our market that's no longer here. You could not squeeze another person in that place, and it was a pretty good-sized place. It's a brewery, obviously. You couldn't get anybody in there every week or every time we had his show. It was packed. So just point of reference for people who haven't been here that long. So I just thought that was kind of a fun little exercise. What did you make of what they were able to do last night at Sunrise?
Well, I thought it was pretty clearly the win of the year for the Predators last night. You fall behind 3 different times. You come back and you're able to win that game. I said on the show yesterday, I'm interested to see what sort of, kind of how deep can the Predators dig here to keep themselves in this game. John Hines came on our show last week and said that, David Riddick was going to get one of the next 2 games with Carolina and Florida. And Joe and I kind of looked at each other and raised our eyebrows and were like, really? David Riddick going to play in one of these 2 games? And after you lose to Carolina, I think it's so tempting as a coach to say, all right, well, we're in a 4-game losing streak. We've got to trot our best goalie back out there. And it's to John Hines' credit. He stuck to his guns. He put Riddick out there. And I thought the response by the Predators each time it looked like the game was about to get away from them, I thought the response was really, really impressive. Tanner Jeannot obviously making a great play shorthanded to score the shorthanded goal. Mikhail Granlund, who I feel like a lot of people just almost brush aside. 22 minutes last night, scores the game-winning goal. He just does so much for this group. And, Roman Josi's at 53 points in 49 games as a defenseman. It's absurd what he's doing right now. So all in all, I think the most impressive win of the year for the Predators. And I think a point where you're wondering, not all wins in the NHL are created equal. It's games like that where you wonder, could this be something that maybe propels you forward a little bit here? I'm interested to see how they respond to that. Obviously, 2 emotional games coming up with Pekka tomorrow and the Stadium Series on Saturday. I just thought a really impressive game last night. And the herd line I thought was, sensational. I thought Trenton was awesome last night. And then, by the way, Colton Sissons won 16 out of 16 face-offs as well.
It's amazing. By the way, first Predator to do that. Go 16-0 in face-off. Paul Gostad was second. He went 13-0. Amazing. By the way, someone on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com, said Mike Fisher. That's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Heavy consideration.
He's close.
Heavy consideration. Heavy consideration. But it's, I don't know. That is a tough one. But I'm going to stick with that's my 5 with, Mike Fisher right there. It's a really good suggestion for sure. All right, we'll come back. More with Robbie Stanley on the other side as you listen to the DDC here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. But first, I'm going to talk to you about my friends over at Cool Springs MD. They've been helping me for years become healthier and happier. They've improved my quality of life, and they've done the same for a lot of you out there too. And if you are looking to maybe shed some unwanted pounds, weight loss management is important to them, and they've got programs and products and people that can get you back on track and headed in the right direction. Rejuvenation, your appearance is important, and boy, does it become challenging as we get older. But their staff can sit down with you and discuss PRP, hair removal, Botox, finally hormone therapy. If you ever had your levels checked, you realize they tend to go down as we get older. That can affect your drive. It can affect your energy. It can affect your mood. If something like that is going on with you where you feel a little bit off, well, their experienced staff can discuss BHRT, testosterone, estrogen. They do it all, and they do it all under one roof. They're in Cool Springs at 1642 Westgate Circle. If you want to learn everything about them, just go to their website, coolspringsmd.com, or you can always pick up the phone and schedule an appointment or a consultation like I've done by dialing this number, 615-283-7291. That's 283-7291.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
President's Day is here, and that means huge savings at Electronic Express. You'll find great deals in every department, including all 4K TVs, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, mattresses, and more. Don't forget, we have up to 50% off all your appliance needs, in stock and ready to deliver. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. Shop the President's Day sales event at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
To understand what makes Genesis Diamonds so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back over 40 years to the diamond cutting capital of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's where Genesis owner Boaz Ramon grew up, in the center of the diamond universe. His connections with the best diamond cutters allowed him special access, giving rise to a thriving wholesale business here in the United States. Then, after a few years, this wholesaler changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices he had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success. Today, Genesis Diamonds provides that extraordinary value to people right here in Middle Tennessee, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best price of any jewelry store in America. Genesis Diamonds, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Parman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Parman Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
This is Phil Tomasino, and this is Smashville.
Cousins put it in front of the score. Tomasino lofts it in. 2-0 Nashville.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back at you.
Robbie knows about vibing.
Oh, yeah, he does. I'm sure he knows about that song. It's a good song right there. Even the beat is even better. You can put any words to that beat and you jam to it. Doesn't matter.
All I can see is the Super Bowl halftime show in my head right now with 50 coming down like that. Good stuff.
It was one of the better halftime shows. I'm not going to say it was the best, but it was one of the better because that would be a disrespect to a few of the acts that have done the Super Bowl in prior years. Robbie, I was watching the game yesterday, and what surprised me, and you guys saw it, how the Predators stayed fast, how they continued to dig in, even when Florida, scored, got it to 3-1 in the half of the second period. But the Predators continued to dig and found themselves tied up and ultimately winning the game. Now, can this be a game, and I know you spoke on it a little bit, but with headed into the next two games, and they're really important and exciting games, can last night's win against Florida be a game that propels them not just to these two games, but games after that?
Well, I think it can. I'm interested to see, how they respond to this. Look, I think had they lost that game last night, really regardless of the result last night, the emotion was going to be high tomorrow. It's number one, it's Tech Arena's jersey, but number two, you're playing Dallas. They hate Dallas. That's a big rivalry. So I think part of, and we talked about this morning on the show, part of what I wonder about, can you maybe be a little too ramped up tomorrow? I'm interested to see how the Predators respond to that. But D-mates, this is one of those wins where you're on the road. Florida was 23-3 at home heading into this game. And to win the game the way that you did, I think more than anything what it does is it creates belief in that room that, hey, we're a pretty good hockey team, right? I mean, this is one of the top teams in the league. You went toe-to-toe with them in their barn last night. And, with Dallas coming up tomorrow, you've got two-time defending Cup champions coming in here on Saturday. I think more than anything, it just gives you confidence that if you play the way that you're capable of playing, you can play with anyone in the league. And that doesn't mean that the Predators are all of a sudden going to be a Stanley Cup favorite, or doesn't mean that they're going to go on this deep playoff run. But it does mean, I think, that the confidence is there, and I think it's going to continue to be there with this group. I mean, to me, it wasn't just a last night thing. We've seen them come from behind a lot of times this year. They've been able to come from behind and either tie games or take the lead. And I think this group is really resilient in that way. I think they're mentally tough in that way. And I think it's been a building process to get to that point that John Hines has had to go through. I think they've arrived to that point. That doesn't mean they're going to be perfect from here on out. But I think a win like last night in the way that they did it, I think it just kind of reinforces that belief. And that can be nothing but a good thing for them as they move forward here, I think.
Now, going from the ice to the grass, I heard you and Rex talking this morning about Harold Landry and him being a priority this offseason at getting him back. Obviously, the number is what's going to really make it interesting. Will he get paid, as you guys said? Will he get paid more than Dupree? Will he get in that ballpark? It's yet to see. But if indeed they can't bring him back, what area do you think they need to address after that?
Well, if they can't bring him back, I mean, I guess you still feel okay about your pass rush because you'd still have Autry, obviously Simmons up the middle. You'd have Bud Dupree. At that point, I think it's already critical anyway, but at that point, I mean, you have to have Bud Dupree healthy next year, and he has to be way more productive than he was this past season. I think for the most part, you understand why Bud Dupree's numbers weren't that great this past year. He's coming off the ACL. He had some different injury issues that he was dealing with. I thought he started to look more like the Bud Dupree of old as the season got to a close there. where he was a factor. It doesn't necessarily mean he was getting sacks every game, but he was pretty effective out there. So you have to have him next year. The thing that really stands out to me is at corner. I mean, I think you feel good about Christian Fulton. I think you feel good about Elijah Molden. I would assume that Jackrabbit Jenkins is going to get cut. He's going to be a part of the cap casualties that they go through. And if that's the case, I think you're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Caleb Farley, your first-round pick from last year, to step in and be ready to go. And D-Mace, I mean, you know this. It's one thing to have talent, but making the jump from college football to the NFL, it takes different, there's different speeds involved for every player. And Caleb Farley has been a cornerback for essentially basically a year, maybe 2 years in his career. So there's a big learning curve anyway, from corner in college to corner in the NFL. He's not played a whole lot of corner to begin with. He had injury concerns coming out of college, and now he's coming off a torn ACL. I would just be really uncomfortable if you're putting all of your eggs in the basket of Caleb Farley. So I'm interested to see if John Robinson takes a look at the cornerback position, be that in free agency or be that in the draft, because I think the Titans, if they don't do that, are putting a whole lot of eggs in the Caleb Farley basket, and I just don't know that I trust him to be fully ready.
Now, is he a guy you can see, because of his injury history and because he hasn't played the position for a very long time? Honestly, I don't know why they drafted him so high, considering all those other variables. But can you see this as being a guy they switch to a safety position?
I mean, it could happen. I don't know that I would see that this year, because I think the athleticism, when he is healthy, I think that's what they're trying to hone in on. And I think they feel really good about safety right now with Byard and Hooker being back there. But that could be something they try down the road for sure. I mean, look, there's so much pressure on these guys, and particularly your first two picks from last year, Farley and Radens. Like, you've got to get something out of them next year, because you can't keep just stacking up draft class after draft class where you get nothing out of. We all know what happened in 2020 with Isaiah Wilson. We all know, I mean, you spent a third-round pick on Darrington Evans. He's not been able to get on the field at this point. Like, you need Dylan Radens and Caleb Farley next year to step in and to be able to give you valuable minutes, to be able to give you valuable contributions. And really neither one of them did that this past year. That's got to be something that changes as you move forward. I'm not saying that John Robinson has to have a 2019 type draft class again where, I mean, you draft Jeffrey Simmons and A.J. Brown and David Long Jr. and Amani Hooker and all these guys. Like, the hit rate in that draft was just pretty insane. But Farley and Radens, to me, have got to get out there next year. So, look, if you determine maybe coming down the stretch that corner's not his position, or maybe you need to move him inside and make him more of a slot corner. I don't know exactly what he's going to end up being. I think they want him to be an outside corner. But regardless, you've got to find somewhere for him to contribute for you next year.
The likelihood that Foreman comes back.
That's a tough one, because I see where that would be a really good thing for the Titans. I also think he played well enough during this stretch here where somebody's going to give him some money that you're just not going to be able to give him if you're the Titans. Like, if you're the Titans and you believe that Derrick Henry is back and that he's fully healthy, to me, there's just a limit of money that you're going to be able to spend on your backup running back. Now, as we know, Henry can go down, and, he's not had much injury history in his career, but that could change very quickly at that position. So I think it would be, if you can afford it, a good idea to bring Deontay Foreman back. I just don't know that he's not priced himself out of here, and that a team around the NFL might give him a look to be maybe not their starter, but, most teams in the NFL just don't really approach it like the Titans do. Like, the Titans have their lead back. Derrick Henry's going to get the ball when he's healthy. A lot of teams take a two-back approach around the league, and they're splitting carries. I think Foreman's going to end up going somewhere else. But if you're the Titans and it's not as expensive for him as I think it might be, I'd absolutely entertain the idea of bringing him back, because I like the idea of a Henry Foreman 1-2 punch.
Two quick hitters on the way out. Just the position. Titans draft at 26. They're taking what position?
I'm going wide receiver. I think wide receiver is going to end up being the way they go.
Okay, interesting. And finally, how cool do you think Saturday is going to be? What are you expecting? We experienced the Winter Classic in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. That was cool, but to have it in our backyard, at Nissan Stadium. What do you think we're in for Saturday night?
Well, I think it's going to be awesome. If you've never been to an outdoor hockey game, I would encourage you to go check it out. The game itself is great. It's a great matchup between the Lightning and the Predators, but really just the experience of it. It's awesome. The entertainment here kind of speaks for itself. Every time Nashville puts on one of these things, they knock it out of the park. I think everybody expects it from that standpoint to be great. I'm interested. I'm going to try to, kind of take in the scene around, the tailgating and the Winter Park and all these different things that are going to be a part of this week. I think it's going to be awesome. I think the game itself, I'm looking at the weather right now and the rain coming in tonight. Hopefully that gets out of the way here in the next day or so. But right now, like Saturday night, when the puck drops, it's going to be like 39 degrees, 40 degrees. Like if you're the NHL, I don't think you could have asked for anything much better. So I think it's going to be awesome coming up on Saturday.
Yep. I plan on wearing a very loud blue suit so the network can tell me to get out of the way.
Yes, please do.
Robbie, always enjoy it. Look forward to seeing you. 2 big hockey games starting tomorrow night and then Saturday in our market. It is going to be one heck of a week or one heck of a 72-hour period. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate y'all.
Robbie Stanley, Robbie and Rex Road, mornings 6 to 10, leading up to our show. They do a great job. We'll come back. More on the other side here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tune in every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Nashville's own Jason Fitz with Jared Stillman and company. Fitz started his sports talk career right here on 102.5 The Game, and now he anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood. Give local. Give life.
Your home value is way up. You can use that money now to pay off credit cards or remodel your house, or both. Hey, Willie Donner for Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto can convert that home equity into cash as little as 2 weeks from now with no cost to you and zero hassle. Mike and Joan in Brentwood called Loan Pronto and they did a Loan Pronto zero cost cash out refi. They got a check for $100,000. They used $50,000 to pay off all of their credit cards and a car loan. Use the other $50K to upgrade their master bath and kitchen. They locked in a new APR in the 2s and lowered their total monthly bills by hundreds of dollars. Hello? What are you waiting on? Call Loan Pronto now and convert your home value into cash. Put that money to good use. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or lowpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Mid-State Sports League spring registration is now open. Adults can register for softball, sand volleyball, soccer, kickball, flag football, and basketball. With the largest leagues in Nashville, there's a league for everyone. For more information about youth or adult sports, visit midstatesports.com.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's. Jasper's is a casual restaurant and bar located on West End Avenue, equipped with TVs, a game room available for private events, a grab-and-go market, and free parking. Yes, free parking. This neighborhood spot is Nashville's new go-to restaurant and bar. You can try their selection of elevated bar food ranging from appetizers to chicken sandwiches to flatbread pizzas and the famous Smash Burger, as well as any of their delicious cocktails. So visit my friends at Jasper's, located at 1918 West End Avenue, and tell them that Robbie sent you.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexroad for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takauchi dealer.
What's up, Nashville? This is Stephen A. Smith. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC, D-Mace, I'm sure, rocking, grooving, Hillside Medical Game Studios. Good stuff from Robbie Stanley. I liked your question about Deontay Foreman.
Yeah, because
it's going to be a tricky one.
He's been – everybody's talked about Harold Landry, and rightfully so. He is someone that is a priority to
Would
the
you tag
Titans.
him?
Who, Landry?
Mm-hmm.
At what, 17-9?
I think that's the number.
Man, I don't know if he wants to get tagged. I mean, he wouldn't not take the money and not sign the contract. That'd be crazy of him. But is he worth – see, it's tricky with him. He's a good player, but is he the best player on your defense? Is he –
the answer is no.
Yeah, is he a top 3-2 player? No.
So is he better than Jeffrey Simmons?
Definitely not.
Is he better than Kevin Byard?
No.
No. Is he better than Bud Dupree?
No.
I don't think so either. I mean, I get it. Bud Dupree was coming off the ACL and was hurt. But overall, he's
probably your fourth best player, best defensive player.
Is he better than Autry?
He and Autry probably on again, me, because I think we've had this conversation before. If I am a GM, I'm working inside out. I think in today's game, you have to have a guy that can push the pocket. And Simmons and Autry pushes the pocket because if a quarterback can't step up in the pocket, these quarterbacks are good enough now. They sidestep, they duck under these outside rushers. They're good enough now to do that. What makes Von Miller so much better now, not to say he's a Hall of Famer, but what makes him better now is Aaron Donald. People can't step up. So my value, I place value on the inside guys rather than the outside guys. You asked me this 10 years ago, then yeah, of course, the outside guys. That's where everybody was trending. The outside guys, the sacks, the guys that making the quarterback step up. They can't step outside anymore. Nowadays, these quarterbacks want to step up. They want to follow through. And if you got two guys pushing a pocket, it's hard for them to do. So my value is the two in the middle. So not to say if I'm putting value on it, then it's Darnell Autry. Because he and Simmons collapsed the pocket. Not to say that Harold Landry isn't a good player. He is. He's a good
with
player.
All due respect, Eric, if Autry is the answer, then there's no way in hell you're paying him $17.
You're right, and that's what I'm saying.
If Autry is ahead of him, like it's not even a discussion piece in my mind. Like, what are we talking about?
To me, it's not. I'm putting importance. It's not. That
I know you're looking at position group.
Exactly. I'm not saying that Autry is a better player than Landry, but I'm saying the importance of today's game. You got to have that push the pocket guy. There's no Jeffrey Simmons and his ability to push the pocket, loop outside, whatever he does makes it easier for everybody else on the outside, meaning those rush edgers. You know why? Because they got to double team Simmons. And then they got to put another guy and maybe even two guys. They got to account for Autry and Simmons, which makes those guys' job on the outside a lot easier. Again, doesn't mean they're not good players because they are. But if I'm putting importance, again, it doesn't mean that Autry's a better player. I think he's a more important player because of the way the NFL is going. You got to have those guys pushing the pocket in so the quarterback can't step up.
Gator Tim on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. I watched Dupree for 5 years in Pittsburgh. Landry is a much better player than Dupree. He only got sacks because of T.J. Watt. You guys overpaid for Dupree. Now you can't afford Landry.
It's not all about sacks.
I'll respectfully disagree.
Yeah, it's not all about sacks. People got on Clowney. Oh, he didn't get sacks. Have y'all watched Clowney play? The guy he disrupts things. He gets pressures, and sometimes pressures are more important than sacks because now it throws the quarterback off. He can't deliver the ball in a timely fashion. He has to step up or step out or get outside the pocket. It's not all about sacks. It's about pressures too, and then it's about am I occupying two guys?
Yeah, I want to be careful how we talk about it, because it's not like we're diminishing what Harold Landry.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player.
I do too, but I also here's where I'm a little conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
When you played here, I watched Floyd Reese, and you know this. You probably know exactly where I'm going with this. There were guys that were productive, and yes, fans look, and media too. We look a lot of just a particular stat like sacks, right, and say that's what they are just by that number. Well, like you said, you can't judge somebody on one category. What else do they bring to the table? Is that all they're doing? So I saw guys have a lot of production here that you played with, and when it was time to pay them, Floyd just let him walk. He let him go. Travis LeBoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the only one that I think really bit them was, who was the guy from Maryland? He went on to the Dolphins.
The defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I forget his name too.
I think he was like the only one that really got, where they let him go.
And he ended up playing well in Miami.
Ended up kind of biting him in the butt. Like he ended up being productive, really productive for many years, especially down in Miami. But for the most part, those guys like Travis LeBoy, and you could just go, there's a list that were really productive here, and Floyd just let them walk. And they went and signed bigger contracts elsewhere to really not be heard from again. And so I think Harold Landry's really good, but is he like big contract good? Is he big contract? Is he $18 million franchise tag good for a year? Maybe for a year it's worth it to then reassess, but is he worth big contract? Big contract. I don't know. $50 million of it guaranteed. Is he worth that?
Listen, my thing is get as much as you can, and if the Titans want to pay you, then so be it. They're the ones that is doling out the money, but if you do that, then eventually you're gonna have to start paying other players that play along the defensive line as well. Most notably, Simmons. That's the guy that, hands down, when his contract come up, he's going to be getting 20 a year. If you're going to keep Bud and you're paying him 17, almost 18, not Bud, but Landry, you paying him almost 18, Simmons is the engine that makes it all go.
There's no question.
So then what do you pay Simmons?
Right. Don't forget, you're going to have to pay him. That's right.
Exactly.
It's coming up. It's around the corner.
It's a numbers game. You gotta look years ahead,
It's tough.
And I understand the salary cap goes up, but still, he says he want to be the highest paid player in his room. Okay, fine. If they're gonna give it to you, take it. I'm all for it.
Pretty interesting. Gator Tim followed up on the text line by saying, Dupree's got one move. He usually runs past the pocket and gets sacks when other players push the quarterback to him. He also doesn't get any tackles in the run game. It's pretty interesting that what was the knock on Harold Landry?
Same
for
thing.
The first couple of years, like he's got to develop more moves. He's got one move.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing was being said about Harold Landry. Now you could say, well, he's done that. He obviously had a productive year this year. I'm just saying he's a really good player, but are teams game planning for him? I don't know. Maybe they are. I think everything starts with Jeffrey Simmons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything starts with Big Jeff. Jeff, again, he makes everybody's job better. He's in the same, if you're talking about guys in the same ballpark, he's in the same ballpark with the LA Rams big tackle.
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. He's in the same ballpark.
Remember when I asked Teron Davenport, I said, what's the gap between Aaron Donald and Jeffrey Simmons today? And he's like, that's a really good question.
It's like, small.
It's not.
I'm looking at TD right now.
It's
small.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, he remembers me asking that question.
Yeah.
It's not. There is not a huge gap. And Aaron Donald is as good as it gets in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeffrey Simmons is coming. He's right behind him.
Yeah.
He has the potential to be the next Aaron Donald in the league. Would anybody push back on that?
No, if you've seen him play, you wouldn't.
I know. He is an absolute disruptive force, without a doubt. He is a game wrecker. And there's not too many of those guys in the league. And then once again, it's like at some point you have to choose who you're going to give up. You're going to give Jeffrey Simmons that money. You are.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get that money.
You have no choice.
So you've already given it to Bud Dupree. We know Byard already had the big contract. So you're going to give Harold Landry a big contract? At some point, you don't have, right? Like
I'm telling you, if
everybody doesn't get a big contract.
If I'm Robinson, you love Landry, but I let him test the market. Let him be fair. Let him test the market, and then, you come back to him. You come back to him and say, "Hey, listen, this is what it is." But how many times
do they come back? Not very often.
He might come back.
Do they though? When they test the market, typically
if you're still in that ballpark, if you can get more guaranteed money, he'll come back.
Well, you know how the players get. They get a little sensitive, like, "Oh, you drafted me, you didn't want me. I'm gonna go somewhere else."
Now you gotta be smart about it.
You do. All right, we'll come back, wrap up Wednesday's show on the other side here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Mostly cloudy this afternoon with a high of 48 degrees. Showers will arrive late. Flooding concerns will continue to rise for the rest of the week.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today. With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
My husband and I started a business together, and I had no idea where to start when it came to payroll. And a friend of mine recommended Patriot, and I have not looked back since. It was extremely user-friendly. I was actually able to understand it and run everything extremely well. And anytime I've had a question, they have been so quick to answer and help me. I definitely recommend it to anyone who is looking for a payroll software that is easy to use, user-friendly, and really offers everything that you need when it comes to something that's beneficial for your business.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Looking for a big diamond? Genesis Diamonds introduces our Elite Collection. All new for 2020. These are large, rare diamonds in the top 1% of the world. 3 carat, 4 carat, 5 carat, up to 10 carat precious diamonds for the most discriminating buyers who appreciate quality. Genesis owners travel worldwide, tapping a vast network of diamond cutters, carefully hand-selecting each of these remarkable diamonds. We invite you to view this premium collection of GIA-certified diamonds, rounds, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, even fancy colored diamonds in size and quality never before seen here. And to showcase these exquisite stones, only Genesis has the finest handcrafted rings from all the world-class designers. If 2020 is the year you're upgrading her original diamond, or you just want to go big for the first time, no need to travel to New York or Los Angeles or Antwerp. Genesis Diamonds' elite collection of large precious diamonds is here in Nashville. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's as the neighborhood bar and restaurant to catch the next Preds game. Jasper's is located on West End Avenue and offers a fun atmosphere with a game room, TVs, and a large bar and lounge area. Plus they offer free parking. That's right, free parking on West End, and offer specials for every Preds game day, including $10 smash burgers and $3 bottle domestics. So come on down to Jasper's next game day for happy hour every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. and 2-for-1 beers all day on Sundays. Just tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hit the road, Jack.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more.
Hit the road, Jack. Well, we're not done yet. Don't forget tomorrow, Pred's Pick to Click. Brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. 8:45 tomorrow morning. You're going to call in if you get chosen. If you're the lucky caller, first one in, you're going to pick a Predators player to score a goal, which most people have been picking Philip Forsberg. That's been working for the listeners. And if that happens, you win tickets to a future home game. So keep that in mind. Tomorrow morning, Pred's Pick to Click, 8:45.
Have you ever won anything? Like you?
I'm honestly, this is what I do. I'm not joking.
Uh-huh.
Like when I'm just the dumbest lottery, Powerball, Mega Millions, whatever. Like I'm the dumbest one out there. Like I wait till it's like 600 million when my odds are 8 trillion to 1, and let me go spend my money on that. So I always go, the sucker. But I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Gotta play to win.
And
yeah.
you can't
your
win
odds
if you don't play.
Yeah, your odds are 8 trillion to 1.
Yeah.
So I'm terrible at winning stuff. So yeah, I literally, I just tried this. Like I can't believe I'm saying this, but I didn't at the time. I didn't think I was doing it. I didn't realize it. I just was trying to mix it up because my luck isn't good. So I'm not kidding. The last time, remember when it was like close to $1 billion recently?
Uh-huh.
I went in to like the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
just
twice dailies
gas station.
Like here, just like here in Smyrna. Like ran into, I was like, oh, it's tonight, drawings tonight, and I was like, oh, but I don't want to buy the ticket because I don't hand it to me because of my luck. I just don't have good luck with that stuff. So I took Maddox in. So I was like, basically, I gave him the money. I was like, tell him this is what you want. And the lady was like looking at me like, are you serious? Like, he can't buy lottery tickets. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then give me X amount. Here's the money. I was like, hand them to him.
Uh-huh.
Hand them to him. She's like, I can't hand them to him. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble. I just was like, just for purposes of my luck isn't good, maybe my 10-year-old's got better luck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know he does. Or I've done it with Lauren. I mean, no. So, no, I don't. The answer is no.
I've been playing, participating in HGTVs. You win the house. They have every year the Dream House.
Oh, yeah. I do that stuff.
Man, every year.
Donation.
I get on it, and I fill it out every day. Every year for the last 5 years.
Okay.
And I'm like, every year I'm going to win this house.
Is
this is the year.
I
want that. Oh, it's in Maine. Oh, that would be lovely in the summer. Oh, my goodness. Colorado. Oh, that will be nice in the summer and the winter. Don't win. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm going to win one day. I am going to win.
See, at least
my due diligence is going to kick in. It's going to get It's going to mean something. I'm going to win.
Law of averages. You're not going to win if you don't keep doing it that obsessively.
Yeah, you're right.
But to your point, so I applaud your efforts. Like you just keep staying like this is the year.
Yes.
This is the time.
I'm like Cowboy fans.
Thank you. 25 years later, this is the year. I'm telling you. No, seriously. This is the year. Yeah, you've been saying that for 25 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, but this year's different. Have you heard of Dak Prescott? Yeah, the last 5 years I've heard you talk about Dak Prescott. Nothing's changed. So, yeah, that's a good example. But there are people, right, that we know. Like everybody's got this friend, right, or coworker, or whatever. Like male or female, just somebody's got that person they work with or they know, a family member, whatever. It doesn't freaking matter what they do. They win at everything. It's ridiculous. Yeah. They could do a Super Bowl square and have one square, right? There's 100. They could just have one square.
And
win. Me, I'll get like 15 because I'm like, that's about the only chance I have, and I still don't win anything. That person, that lucky person that they'll buy one square and win 2 quarters, right? They'll win like the first quarter and the final score, and you're like, are you kidding me? With one square? And they'll just rake in on one square. Like, we know that person, right? Like, everybody knows that person that wins all the time.
Or they pick based on color. What
Is that
color
what
are the
it is?
jersey? What color are the jerseys?
That's
yeah.
the secret?
I guess so. For some people, it is. What color? I don't know anything about them. What color are the jerseys? Okay, I'm picking that team. Favorite color, and they end up winning. Man.
I'm just not your guy. I'm not that person. I'm not lucky. I don't call into the radio. Like we got listeners. They call in. They win.
Uh-huh.
Right? They're good. They win just by being the right caller, not like guessing something. They just like a caller 10, and they're caller 10. Like I'm never that guy.
They just
right?
pick
like,
up the phone and
like
it's like
I'll
caller
be
10.
9 and 11, but I'll never be 10.
Oh, so close.
Like,
but
it's
yet
always
so
like,
far.
yeah, I'm the oh so close guy. Oh, dang it. Caller 9. Give us a try back. Okay, redial. Oh, caller 11. Sorry, we already got it. Thanks. Click. Oh, that's me. I'm that guy.
Oh,
all right,
man.
that'll do it